Okay, so I was thinking for a second I might actually have to just fast forward through all of Yuri's storyline to get back to where we last left off because I was playing on an old version of Fruits of the Literature Club which had less of Yuri's story completed. Supposedly I have a version right now where all of Yuri's and Yuri's and Sayori's storylines in this version are supposedly complete. Can't believe I said sorry. So I guess sorry I said that. I know it's a lame pun. And I just noticed that we also have a different title screen now. I mean, I recognize four of the characters here, I mean, of course I would, but who's the fifth girl? The one that looks like she's like a crossbreed between Sayori and Monica. I mean, even her eyes. Monica has green eyes, Sayori has blue ones. This girl in the middle has, like, a cross between green and blue, I'd say, like, I'd call that teal. Yeah, she has what looks like somewhere between green and blue eyes. She's even got what looks like that red bow. That looks like Sayori's, but it's about as long as Monica's. Who's that middle girl? I don't know. The one that looks like it's part Sayori, part Monica. And I also noticed this here, a select chapter option. So does that mean I don't have to just fast forward through storyline I've already seen? Okay, so there's a character select screen here. And if I hit chapter 4, what happens? Okay, I think we've already been here. So how do I return from this screen? Okay. Okay, so this is the scene where main character gets to his house not too long after Yuri gets kidnapped, so I'm gonna fast forward up until where we last left off. Yeah, this is where the guy finds the note that explains where Yuri's gone missing. Someone kidnapped her. What essentially happens here is that he figures out that Yuri's been kidnapped by this mysterious group of people who want to know more about main character's backstory. So he calls this number at midnight. No later, no earlier, as the instructions say. Text speed, auto forward time, I'm going to just... Can I do... What if I do skip unseen text? Okay, this is a good way to fast forward. So that's the basement that Yuri's being kept in, by the way. Haven't heard anything about Yuri lately. You're probably gonna have to go watch part 3, most likely. I mean, I'm pretty sure that stream should be public, unless I forgot to set it to public, but I doubt it. Okay, I think we can kind of stop here, stop skipping. I think we fast forward as far as we need to. So let's just set this stuff kind of back to normal. I think I'll just set it like this and keep on playing like so. Now I'm gonna hit save. Alright, good night. So let's actually see the rest of the story that wasn't in the previous version of Fruits of the Literature Club. Okay, actually this I do recognize. This was a flashback to my main character and Yuri hanging out. I just noticed, like, the font in which the people's names are written is different now. I kind of like the default one better. I mean, it was a little easier to read, but this one's still, like, alright. I mean, I guess once you've seen that font enough, you kind of just get used to seeing it. And you're just like, oh, wait, what? That's a different font? I've seen some bad font choices, and I will not say that that's one of them. When I finally reach the door, I insert the key and turn the knob. So, did I actually see this text yet or not? Closing the door quietly behind me. I make sure to lock it so it doesn't look suspicious to anyone walking by. So yeah, this is from Yuri's point of view. Put the key back in my bra and start to quietly walk around the corridor. Yeah, I'm only too sure this is Yuri's point of view. Just to the left of the stairway is a double door with fogged glass. Yes, maybe I can get out from there. Quietly jogging to the door, I try to make anything out from the fogged glass. I can't tell if that's a person or I'm seeing outside or a tree. But if I open the door quietly enough, I could sneak away if it is a person. My heart now in my throat, I reach down and grip the handle of the door, gently pressing a button to open it. Pulling the door towards me. Nothing. It doesn't even budge. No, 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 no. Don't tell me this one is locked too. I kneel down to look at the handle and notice there's a slot for a key much bigger than the one I have. Cursing under my breath, I stand back up and walk around the hallway some more. I could go upstairs, but I don't think there would be a way out of the building up there. My best bet would be to try and find another way out down here. If this is a front entrance, there should be a back entrance too. And since this looks like a building for education, there might also be a faculty door as well. So you really have to wonder how these kidnappers could actually afford to rent out a whole school to hold someone hostage. Like, what really is going on? I notice a dark hallway inconspicuously hidden near an old receptionist's desk. The material of the floor changes as soon as I start down the hallway. It goes from a nicely maintained marble floor to a dusty and slightly painted concrete floor. It kind of looks like someone ripped up carpet or tile and just left it the way it is. So maybe this was an old hallway that was in the middle of a renovation. Whatever it is, the darkness of it amplifies the atmospheric eeriness to a whole new level. It sends shivers down my back. The good thing, however, is that if anyone comes looking for me, this is a great place to hide. To see from the start of the hallway to wherever the end is, you'll need a flashlight. But even then, there are buckets and ladders I can hide behind. Continuing down the hallway, I accidentally kick something heavy and metal. A loud crash and the sound of what I think are screws and nails falling echoes through the corridor. Kya? Immediately covering my mouth with my hands, I drop to my knees and lean down for a second. Oh my god, why did they do that? After an extremely intense minute of silence, I don't hear anything. It doesn't seem like anyone heard that. Oh, thank God. I place my hands onto the ground in front of me and let myself recover. Feeling around, I confirm that I knocked over a can of screws and nails. After getting to my feet, I carefully progress through the dark hallway. At this point, not even the light from the start of the hallway helps me see. I'm just going by instinct and intuition. Pressing the walls as I go, I feel around to make sure I don't hit or knock anything over again. Eventually, I don't feel the walls anymore and sense that I'm in an actual room now. The floor still feels the same as it did when I was going down the hallway, so I assume this room was being renovated as well. I managed to find one of the walls and trace my hands across until I come across a shelf. Feels barren aside from what feels like a cardboard tube here and there. But then my hand touches something sharp that makes me recoil slightly. Blade? Carefully grabbing it and feeling around the item in my hands, I recognize that it's a box cutter. But the blade is still extended, so I withdraw it into its case and tuck it down the side of my pants. Alright, time to find that door. So she's still looking for the door, and the knob turns, but the actual door doesn't budge. Kicking forward in frustration, I feel something wedged at the bottom of it. Kneeling down, I touch with my fingers, and it feels to be a rubber door wedge. Dad would use these for the garage door all the time. That's what's keeping it from opening. Reaching down again and grip on it, I try to pull the wedge out, but it doesn't move. Come on. I sit down and place my feet against the door and try to use leverage to pull the wedge out, but still nothing. I give the wedge one last tug with all my strength, and pop! The wedge pops out. The sudden release of force throws me backward onto my butt. Yes! I stand back up and dust myself off, even though I can't see, and try the door one more time. It opens and a gust of air flies into the room with me. Again, the room beyond the door is dark, but I can see a small lit-up exit sign that points down another hallway. I venture down the hallway once more until a pair of hands grab me from behind. What do we have here? One of the hands wraps around my mouth and stops me from screaming. I try to shake and fight back as much as I can, but the person is just too strong. I'm guessing she wasn't able to use the box cutter on him. He wrestles me to the ground and presses my head against the concrete. Now how'd you get out there? I knew I heard something earlier. However, the bosses don't know that I found you yet. I can still have my oh no. A wave of nausea hits me like a truck when I realize what those words mean. And I'm not even the one who's actually trying to escape here, and like I kick and shake as hard as I can to get free, but it's to no avail. He lets go of my mouth and I immediately scream for help. Gah, you little bitch, you're going to alert them! Something hits my head really hard and stuns me. I can barely fight back anymore. I just feel myself weak enough to go limp. The hell was that? Another man walks into the room with a flashlight. Oh my god, you idiot, what the hell are you doing? The boss said not to touch the girl until we were given the fucking notice. What'd you do to her? I had to knock her out. You're an idiot. Help me get her back to the basement. Both of the men drop me onto the cold concrete floor of the basement and start to walk away. How in the hell did she even get out? James probably left the door unlocked like a dumbass again. He was probably planning on something else with the girl behind our backs. Like you just tried. You try something like that again, you are fucked. Alright, fine. Oh, my head. I was so close to getting out, but thank God the other guy showed up when he did. If not, ugh. My body shudders at the thought. These people are sick and they all need to go to a mental hospital. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. Crawling back over to the corner of the basement where I rest, I lie my head against the wall and cry quietly. So where's this now? Oh, it's Julia talking now. So how do you think he'll do? He will pass, I'm sure of it. Ashley and I look out of a one-way window into a large field with an obstacle course set up. I'm guessing this is like some flashback into the past that main character Ashley and Julia are in. I lean my back against the glass and Ashley leans forward and rests her hands against the metal rail. That's good. You say that as if you think otherwise. I mean, there's always a chance he could fail. We've known this for a while. There's a chance we would fail too. He's taking the exact same examination we did years ago. And from what I heard, his instructor said he did very well. I heard too, he was the leader of his class. Something must have happened when we put him through initial training that motivated him. I see. Well, nevertheless, him making that change was for the better. I've seen a lot of determination from him, and it kind of scares me. Scares you? I feel that he could push himself too far one day, and that could be his downfall. Oh, I get it now. To be completely honest, Ash, I don't really know how to respond to that. I don't think he could get to a point like that, but for God's sake, it is Level Engine we're talking about. The kid's been full of mystery since he came into our care. Exactly. His unpredictability will make him hard to control as an agent when he becomes one. See, I was onto something when I started making those guesses that the main character was like the secret agent of some sort. Like the story he told during that one club meeting where all the characters told stories, he was talking about this one where he just killed this quote-unquote evil person who orchestrated the deaths of innocent people. That's where I kind of got like one of my first hints that he could have been a secret agent. Didn't really like think about it too deeply until I saw he had like the handgun hidden in his room and he was gonna go on his mission to save Yuri. I have to. Level Engine will need someone who can control him properly. Damn, Ash. I don't think I would have ever heard that Ashley would leave the field for Division Chief. She is a super hands-on woman, not having her directly in operations will take some adjustment. And Admin is okay with that? They're hesitant, but his performance so far only supports my case. I'm still not calling you ma'am. Ew, don't even think about it. I bet you Level Engine will call you Mammy. Jesus Christ, Julia! The way you said that was too sexual. And you know I don't like to be called his mother. You basically are, though. Doesn't matter, I'm not a mother type of girl. Plus, he has a mother. She's dead, Ash. Still a mother. I always love and care for him like a mother would, but I have no place in this world trying to take over as his own. There were a few times he called you Mom, do you remember? I do. I nearly broke down crying when he did. I've been meaning to ask you about that. When he did, she just started crying. She never told me why or spoke about it. She just silently cried on the couch for a bit and then went back to normal. I don't know why, but it just made me feel weirdly emotional. Like I was happy, but also very sad. I want to be his mom, but I can't. As I said before, that isn't my position to fill in his life, as much as I would like. Ashley looks down to the floor and shields her face from me. I wrap an arm around her and gently pat her shoulder. It's okay, I'll be his mommy. You can be my insane sister. Ashley shoves her elbow into my ribcage with the speed of a lightning strike. Ah, you bitch! Rubbing my side, Ashley looks at me and sticks her tongue out. A green light appears over us and a loud buzzing noise rings out from a loudspeaker. Looks like he's starting. Okay, so we're back to Yuri in that abandoned school, it looks like. Somewhere in the middle of a dark room. It's an all too familiar feeling that makes me feel sick to my stomach. Actually, no, we're not talking about Yuri. This is Level Engine talking, apparently. As I stand up, I rub my head to relieve the intense stinging that radiates from it. Damn, that hurts. Letting my eyes adjust to the darkness, it looks like I'm in a completely empty room with a few white disposable buckets scattered around. I quickly pat my pockets and check for my weapon, but it looks like all of it was stripped from me. Great. The door of the room sits across from me and serves as my way out. However, getting it open is going to be a problem. It's obviously locked and looks reinforced enough that kicking next to the knob won't do anything but make unnecessary noise. And right now I really don't need to draw any more attention to myself. What, so he got kidnapped too? So apparently, like, the main character also got trapped? Just like Yuri? I'm guessing it's maybe the same people that were holding Yuri hostage? Looking into each of the plastic buckets, I find nothing of use besides a few nuts, a bolt, a broken screw, and a lot of dust. The labels on the buckets have been scraped off and now only leave the white traces of adhesive behind. Maybe I can use one of these to my advantage. Inspecting each of the buckets, I find the one is cracked on the side. Perfect. I take both of my hands and pry the bucket apart suddenly, creating large jagged edges as it cracks. Each time it cracks, it creates a lot of noise, so my eyes stayed glued to the door. Okay, so now we're actually looking from the main character's point of view. He also got kidnapped, and he's actually locked in a room now, too. Scouring through them, I find a good-sized piece that is sharp enough to use as a self-defense weapon. As I put the piece of plastic in between my belt and pants for a makeshift sheath, the doorknob starts to shake. Instinctively, I quietly get to the right side of the door and hug the corner so anyone looking in won't be able to see me. What is that noise? What the hell? Where did he go? As he steps in, I wrap one of my arms around his throat and get him into a chokehold. Ack! I pull him inside the room further and kick the back of his knees to stumble him. Once he drops to his knees, I lean down and continue to strangle him. As his eyes start to roll back into his head, I give him some room to breathe. What the fuck? I tighten my grip and start to restrict his airflow one more time. Where is Yuri? I'm not telling you. You sure you want to do that? His eyes start to roll back into his head again as he begins to go limp. But once again, I allow him to breathe and come back to consciousness before strangling him more. I can do this for a long time. Monster. He tries to swing upward and hit me but misses. I'm going to ask you one last time. Where is Yuri? I'm gonna kill. He goes silent and loses consciousness. You're just going to make me waste time until your buddies come to check on you. I'm not even going to waste my time killing you. I release my grip on the man and let him fall to the floor. Might as well leave him here. He won't be able to get out from the inside anyway. But let's take his keys. I'm going to need them. Why is my name there? I had the option to just put my name in there, actually. I bend down and take his keys off him and close the door behind me outside. Taking a moment to look through the keys, I find the correct one and lock the guy inside. The hallway I'm in is almost as dark as the room, with a small window that lets in moonlight. The floor looks like it's been torn up and is raw. Perhaps it was a tile floor before? Whatever, the floor is the least of my concern. I need to find out where I am and if Yuri is here. Going through the hallway, I reach a door that looks as if it was bolted shut. Looks like I'm not getting in through there. Next to the door is a window. Looking down from the window, there's a small drop, and enough to determine that I'm on the first floor of whatever building I'm in. Tapping on the window, it sounds like I could break it easily. The clearing on the outside looks like it would make a good escape route. But it isn't like I could just punch the glass and break it enough to get out. That's not only going to make a lot of noise, but it's going to shred the hell out of my arm. I'm going to need something to cover my hand and forearm if I'm going to break it. After a few minutes of searching for anything suitable, I find a small patch of felt fabric. I place it next to the window and keep going down the opposite end of the hallway. Pacing through the hallway, I reach another room that bends to my left. Following it leads me to a lit-up reception area. Before showing myself to the area, I peek around the corner to look for any cameras. Doesn't look like there are any. Finally stepping into the area, I see an overturned desk and some papers strewn on the floor. There was a struggle here, but whoever was involved when this was are two things that are giving me a bad feeling. Small drops of blood splattered across the surface of the desk. It's still liquid, so happened recently. No blood trails, so I can't tell whoever was hurt. But the papers have shoe prints on them, and they look around the same size as mine. If the papers weren't moved since this altercation, it looks as if they were headed upstairs. Down in the hall to my right, there is a door with the light inside on. I don't see any interior shadows indicating anyone inside, so I move towards the door and place my ear against it. I hear what I think is a TV, but no movement or anyone else speaking. It's unlocked. Quickly slipping through the door, the room gives off a homey vibe. The room has been repurposed to be more of a lounge, if anything. A carpet covers the floor with different designs and colors. A tan couch sits in the middle of the carpet towards a TV on a stand, and there looks to be some sinks, an oven, and cupboards. The room is basically a kitchenette. An overweight man sits on the couch with his head cocked to the side. Approaching him from behind, I see that he is passed out while eating a bag of chips. Oh, about Visigoth. I haven't seen him recently either. I'm trying to remember the last time I have. Must have been like about 3-4 weeks ago, maybe even longer. Getting close to the slumbering oaf on the couch, I lean down and wrap my arm around his throat, positioning the sharp plastic just in the corner of his peripheral vision. Huh? Who are you? Tell me where Yuri is. Who? The purple-haired girl you people abducted. Where is she? Her? I don't know, man. I press the sharp edge of the plastic against his neck. Listen here. You're going to tell me where she is, and I will let you go unharmed. But if you make me repeat myself again, I won't bother thinking twice about making some fillets out of you. Listen, dude, I really don't know where she is. You don't? Then what's with the overturned desk and blood out in the main hall outside? I don't know, man. I'm only here to make sure no one trespasses. Looks like you failed. But maybe you can redeem yourself by telling me what I want to know. I said I don't know where that girl is. And tell me where I am. What? I press my makeshift knife against his neck with more pressure now, just barely able to break skin. But we're at the old Statefield University building. And why are we here? It's easier to do what we do here. And that is? Just whatever we're asked, man. Sometimes we sell things for people, sometimes we distribute, sometimes we sell out space for storage. So why are you exactly in the business right now of abducting 2 high school teens? That's not something I know. The boss knows. Who is your boss? I've only seen him a few times, but he never even told me his name. So what you're telling me is you're useless to me? No? What else do you want to know? Please, I'll tell you anything, just don't hurt me. Stop crying and man the fuck up. Where are your buddies? They don't hang around specific areas. They like to move around. But the 2 guys who are in charge of watching you two are probably still around here. As for exactly where, I have no idea. Interesting. How many of you are there? Too many to count. Not good enough. Give me an estimate. I don't know, like... Oh, fuck. 30? One locked in a room, the other dead in the forest. So still 28 people. Yeah, imagine, like, just running into any group of those 2 people among those 28. So you have quite the manpower here. So are all those 28 people just out to get Yuri and, like, MC here? Why is no one else in here with you? I don't know. You don't know anything, do you? I'm just usually in here. The others left to do something a while ago. What were they doing? Are you sure you want to know? Why would I ask? They went to do something to that girl of yours. What were they going to do to her? I don't know. Something secret. I don't know. You're so goddamn useless, it's annoying. You can't even tell me where she is, so I have no more use for you. Wait! I jerk the man's head at a specific angle and he goes completely motionless and limp. As I do that, another set of arms wraps around me and pulls me back. How in the hell did you get out here? Several other men await me with grasping arms. About 4 more than the one who just grabbed me. Damn it, this isn't good. I shove my elbow into the nearest one's temple, stumbling him back. 2 of the men grab my arms while I try to dead weight and collapse their heads together. When their heads hit each other, I grab one of their legs and try to throw it upward, but I'm grabbed from behind again. Placing my foot against one of the men's chests, I push off with as much energy as I can muster. It stumbles him back, and the guy holding me from behind topples over, giving me a window to escape his grasp. But as I get up, I'm greeted with what feels like a steel-toed boot straight to my left temple. My vision going completely blurred and stars appearing in and out of it. I try to stand back up before feeling another impact against my face. Falling onto the back facing the ceiling, one of them places their foot against my chest and keeps me pinned against the ground. Looking around, I notice that the makeshift knife I had earlier is an arm's length from me. I reach over, grab it, and shove it into his calf. Gah! The other attackers around me start recovering, and I manage to get out from under the foot that had pinned me. But it isn't long before they're all on top of me again. Earlier. So Yuri's still stuck here. Looking at the boxcar that sits in my hands, I think about the other knives that I have at home. They all have different uses and designs. They all perform differently and they're all beautiful. Even something as simple as this box cutter has some form of elegance to it. In fact, everything does, you just need to find it. But then it really just comes down to one's mindset. And I'm gonna be honest. My mindset is absolutely horrible. My thoughts eat at me, my insecurities swallow me, and even my self-esteem deprecates me. It's a living hell, and the only real way for me to relieve it is to cut myself. Granted, it feels really good when I do, but I subconsciously know how dangerous it is. I could accidentally clip something and just not be able to stop the bleeding. Especially in a situation like this. If I do, I can't really call 911 or bandage myself up. I just want to go back home. I just want to lie down in my bed and sit under my blanket forever. This is all too much for me to handle and comprehend, but I know I can't give up. Level Engine is trying his hardest just to rescue me from all of this. It's even gotten to the point where they were forcing him to do things I know he's morally against. And then some of the men who kidnapped me told me they managed to capture Level Engine. But I don't think that's true. It could just be a lie to make me panic even more. I just really hope he is okay. I've been at the brink of tears for so long now that my eyes are generally starting to sting. Wiping away what tears were formed, I look around the barren and cold basement and lean my head back to my corner once again. Some noises above me caused me to open my eyes. I must have dozed off for a little bit there. Sounds like the guys above are moving something. Which leaves me with a worried and sick feeling in my stomach, but I try to ignore it and rest a little more. The stumbling above stops after a while, and then I hear the door unlock. 3 men stand in front of me and pull me up. Huh? Get off of me! I struggle and try to shake as hard as I can to get free, but their grip on me is too tight. They begin to pull me up the stairs, dragging my lower body against the wooden stairs as they go. Get off of me! I flail around and manage to free my left foot and immediately begin swinging it, kicking one of the guys in the groin. He drops my other foot, but all the men force me onto a wooden desk in the middle of the main hall. One holds me down by my shoulder, the other holds my legs down against the desk. The third, after recovering from my kick, reaches into his jacket. Help! Someone help me! The smack against my head shuts me up and makes everything go dizzy. What are they going to do to me? After rustling, oh no. The third man pulls out a medical syringe that has some fluid in it. Oh my god. He walks over to my left arm and the man holding my shoulders maneuvers my left wrist out. Please, please don't do this. He doesn't respond and uncaps the syringe. Probably don't want to know what's in that. A very weird, warm feeling starts tingling up in my arm and into my chest. I can't even bear to look at what he's doing to me. When I feel the needle leave my arm, some blood trickles from my wrist onto the desk. All the men let go of me and I roll to my right side. The desk doesn't seem to support all of my weight on one side and it topples over. My right shoulder and my side break my fall so my head doesn't hit the ground, but the force of the impact is enough to knock the wind out of me. How long until it takes effect? About 5 minutes. Depends on the girl's tolerance. It's kinda sad to see a young girl like her go through this. Yeah, but fuck it, I couldn't care less. I get paid for this. Damn straight. So who are they working for exactly? It's so uncomfortable. Everything starts to get dark in my vision tunnels. The tingling gets worse and worse. My hearing begins to muffle and fade into a constant static. Someone, help me, please. I lean forward onto the railing and look out into the water. Ashley stands off to my left, peering out into the same lake as I. She's been awfully quiet lately and it's concerned me. It's been a little while since I was made an agent. Okay, so this is probably like a flashback for main character, I assume. And ever since then, she's acted completely different around me. It brings back an all too familiar feeling from the past, one that doesn't sit well in my stomach and makes me slightly nauseous. And it isn't like I can really open up to Ashley about it either. I was trained to harbor any insecurities or emotional feelings I have. No one needs to hear or see that I have feelings. It makes me a more efficient agent. I do what I need to do, regardless of the circumstances or my own moral influence. But as a side effect, I feel like I've grown away from Ashley. Either that or she has grown away from me. Nevertheless, it makes me a little disheartened. I remain silent and let my thoughts ramble at each other for a while. The occasional glare from the sun reflecting off the lake's surface catches my eye every so often. The quiet and peaceful atmosphere that surrounds us only makes it a little more awkward. Ashley's presence seems almost ominous, like it was only meant to make things more tense between us. But she ends up breaking the tension. Talk. What's going on in your head right now? Nothing. Why do you ask? You're absolutely quiet. It's annoying. Would you prefer I start screaming? Do it and you'll be thrown over this railing. It would be a refreshing change of pace considering neither of us were speaking at all for a while. Speaking of which, I decide to go for it. You haven't been as talkative either. What's going on in your head right now? She remains quiet for a second, looking back down to the water. Through the reflection, I can tell she has a degree of sadness written across her face. It's nothing, just some thoughts getting to me, that's all. Thoughts? That's what I said. Care to elaborate? No. She raises her voice slightly, but enough for me to determine that something is definitely bothering her. I guess I can relate. I've been quiet because some thoughts of mine are eating at me too. Huh? I exhale sharply and look into the sky. Focusing on the clouds, I begin to explain my concerns to Ashley. Ever since the examination, you've acted oddly around me. Granted, I really shouldn't care that you are, but for some reason I do. And I couldn't bring myself to say anything earlier because everything that's happened to me over the years has definitely made me into someone I'm not familiar with. I don't really know how to feel about it, to be honest. I see. Well, it's not like I can blame you either. I was the one who trained you to become what you are now, so I guess I'm at fault for that. I'm sorry. Don't apologize for that. You took in a kid who only wanted to die after the deck of cards he was given was bad. You cared for that kid and made sure he was given an education that was trained to become useful in life. You were always useful. You may have not noticed it until now, but you were. You were always useful to someone somewhere, even if it's for a day. You will know what you did was right when your memory lingers. How have I always been useful? You gave me a new outlook on life. You gave me a reason to kind of, I guess, care for someone other than Julia and myself. Ashley's words hit me hard. And that is because of a blonde in my life who gave me a chance and the opportunity. Yep. Listen though, Level Engine. I know you have a lot going on inside your mind. And considering where you came from, what you had to deal with your father, I understand it makes you think. And sometimes you feel as if you only cause problems and you don't know if the path you take is truly right. I remember a conversation that night. I definitely opened up more than I should have. Just assure me you actually had feelings. I resent that. Can you blame me? You literally never spoke at all after we picked you up. You didn't react to anything. You barely even ate anything. And when you finally did show a trace of emotion, I was ecstatic. Yeah, I get it. Anyways, I know sometimes you feel like that, but always remember when I taught you and what feels right to you. You have your training, but you also have your own judgment. Never confuse or forget the two, alright? Right. I appreciate it, Ashley. I know you just want the best for me. But I don't think you understand the true things I feel inside. All the training you've put me through, after what my instructors tested me with, and what I've done during my short tenure as an agent. They all leave me with various tribulations that constantly battle with each other, and they are the source of my internal war. And one day that war will end and one of them will win. That day scares me. My eyes open just to be filled with dust and dirt. Ah! The intense stinging from the dirt caused my eyes to water, making the pain even worse. Rolling onto my side, I vigorously rub both of my eyes with my hands. Once I am sure a majority of the dirt in my eyes have been removed and the pain subsides, I open my eyes once more. Everything is still in tunnel vision as I look around. This is a different room now that Yuri's been moved to, apparently. I don't recognize where I am. Wasn't I just in the main reception hall of that one building? I'm not even in the basement anymore. Hello? My voice echoes around the room, startling me. It looks like an empty lab room of some sort. Struggling to get on my feet, overwhelming dizziness washes over me. Oh no, I drop to my knees and vomit onto the ground in front of me. Nothing but water comes up, but it feels like my stomach is trying to throw up actual food. It hurts so much. I absolutely hate the feeling of throwing up. Ugh. After a few moments, my vision and hearing clear slightly. I shake my head a few times to try and get my wits about me again, but the dizziness still remains. Kind of feels like I'm moving through sand. After another few minutes, I start to feel my body get lighter and I try to get back on my feet. Something metallic sticks into my chest. I reach into my shirt to check it and discover the basement key. Huh, I still have it. Wait. Exclaiming those words out loud, I reach into the side of my pants and feel the box cutter still there. Yes! Nothing. Grabbing the box cutter, I walk towards the windows on the far side of the room. Looking outside, there are a bunch of trees that I recognize as part of the forest at the edge of town. But as for where specifically I am, my mind isn't fully clear, so I can't think too much about it. Resting my head against the window, it begins to fog up. I need to find a way out of here. If I can get down there, I can try to find a police officer, and I should be really quick about it. I have no idea what those guys did to me, but I feel very weird still. Lifting my forehead off of the window, I try to shake it once more. But of course, the feeling doesn't dissipate. I might as well try and find a way out of here. Turning around, I start heading towards the door. Gripping the box cutter tightly in my hand, I reach with my free hand to open the door and walk into the hallway outside. The hallway is darker than usual, so it has to be a bit later into the night. Looking to my right, I see the stairway and start to run towards it. Where do you think you're going, Yuri? Yeah? The man that first showed up in Level Engine's house when I got kidnapped walks around the corner. He stands in the middle of the hallway, blocking me from getting any closer to the stairs. I ask you a question. Get away from me! Not going to happen, sweetie. You see, I've heard you've been escaping your confines lately. And one of my basement keys has gone missing, too. I don't suppose you would have any idea where it went, would you? No? I take a few steps backward and try to distance us. But to my despair, he takes a few steps towards me. Oh, hey there, Monica. Probably one of many Monicas that could possibly drop by my streams. The thing that makes me interested is that where she is in the structure she will be going through. You're starting to become quite the handful for me. Normally I just get rid of things that cause problems for me. And you've been nothing but problems. The only reason I've let you live this long is because I needed leverage against Level Engine. But now I don't think we need you anymore. No! Please, I just want to go home. It's kind of sad to see a girl like you suffer through this. You're actually really pretty, even when you have that terrified look on your face. Alas, I have to do what I have to do. I try and run by his right side, but he catches me and grasps my arm with his hands. Get off of me! Shut up and make this easier for me. He pulls on my arm, which causes me to fall into his arms. His arm wraps around my throat and his other hand pushes against my back. I can't breathe. Just stop moving and breathe out. It'll be much easier and less painful. Please. I'm going to die in here if I don't do something. Gripping my right hand, I realize I have to do something I don't want to do. I press the small black lever of the box cutter hidden in my fist and extend the blade. Using the rest of my energy, I slam both my fists and the box cutter against the man's leg. Kuh? He lets go of me and grasps onto his leg. I drop onto my knees and gasp for air. Gah! What the hell? You stabbed me! That is twice now. I still haven't healed fully since you fucking stabbed me in Level Engine's house. The blood starts to trickle down his pants, staining them red. I grip the blade again in my hand and try to stand back on my feet. I swear to God, you little bitch. I'm going to wring your neck and watch you die. I'm done playing games. Just let me leave. I want to go home with Level Engine. Even if you do manage to leave, you won't be going home with him. You want to know why? Why? Because he's dead. You're lying. Level Engine can't be dead. He foolishly ran to try and save you. He disregarded any logic and safety of his own when he charged into the unknown. We overwhelmed him, and I had the pleasure of putting a bullet in his head. My knees immediately strained to support my body. Nausea causes vomit to start traveling up my throat. You look a little sick. What's the matter? Was me killing your boyfriend too much for you? Stop saying that! It can't be real. You have to be lying to me. Still don't believe me? Here. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out something metallic, and tosses it onto the ground. Oh my God. It's a small silver pocket knife I gave him a while ago. It's covered with dried blood. The world around me starts to crumble and fall. Level Engine is... He's... What? Are you going to cry? But why would you do this to us? It all stems from the motivation and root of everything. Money, of course. I was paid to do this. I just want to collapse and give up. There is no reason for me to keep trying to survive anymore, but I know that Level Engine would be disappointed in me if I let myself die here. He will want me to survive this and get out alive. I can try. For him. Steadying my breath, I raise the box cutter again and brandish it towards the man. You're still going to fight after all this? You dumb bitch. Your boyfriend is dead. You aren't going to get out of here. Just do yourself a favor and let me kill you. Shut up! I sprint towards him and start wildly slashing my box cutter into him. I lean onto my hands and knees and vomit again on the ground. My hands won't stop shaking as I stare at the bloody box cutter on the ground. I hurt someone. I didn't want to hurt anyone. The man gets back up off of the ground from where he was lying. What? How are you still... He doesn't respond when he gets to his feet. He returns to look at me and starts to walk towards me again. No! I grab the box cutter and run towards the stairwell. Trying to get down the stairs as fast as I can and away from this monster, I pace my steps down. But all that seems to be for nothing because I end up tripping over my own feet and crashing to the ground. Ugh! Ow! I'm trying to pick myself up off of the ground, but there's almost no strength in my arms. Come on, Yuri, get up. One after another, my arms comply and help pick me up. Finally, I need to get to the door I saw in the main lobby. I need to get out of here. She's over here! Find that bitch and beat the hell out of her. Oh God. I try to clear my head again and keep going down the next flight of stairs. Stepping out of the stairwell to another open area, I don't recognize where I am. Is this a new area? No, it can't be. I swear I've been here before. Why is it that I can't understand where I am right now? I start to panic and run down the center corridor. Everything around me grows fuzzy and I can hear my heartbeat louder than anything else. At the end of the corridor, I see a black figure appear out of nowhere and try to grab me. I caught her. Get off of me, please! I caught her! Let go! I swing my box cutter at the figure to try and escape, but it disappears. Where did it go? Footsteps behind me alert me to someone trying to sneak up on me. Turning around, I brandish the box cutter towards the direction of the sound, but no one is there. What? I shake my head and keep continuing down the corridor. When I reach the end, there is yet another darkened hallway that calls out to me. Oh great, not another one of these. I guess the darkness will at least conceal me from some people, and I feel slightly more comfortable being there than out here. The dark hallway is oddly colder than the rest of the building so far. So did Metroid Prime 2 have a snow area? From what I recalled, it didn't. Metroid Prime 3, I'm pretty sure it does from what I saw, but never actually really played the game, just saw, like, someone else play it at the game's done quick. Like, a bit of it. Keeping my arms close to me. I try to steel my resolve. Wow, it's been like almost 45 minutes already. Yeah, with the story like this, time's kind of just been flying because I really want to see how it ends. Like, honestly, almost all these mods just take a while before they actually get good. Come on, Yuri. You can do this. Step by step. Trying to encourage myself to keep going. I ignore the fear that weighs my legs and keep walking. My mind starts to feel fuzzy again. Oh, I'm gonna lean on the wall for a second to try and rest. I rub my temples and only now realize I'm hearing something. Why is she even in the club? Wait a minute. That's Monica's voice! But why is she... Seriously, she barely participates, and when we try to do group events, she has some weird breakdown. Huh? Exactly, Monica. She attacks my writing because she doesn't like it, but hers isn't even that good, and she prances around like she's the queen of all literature or something. Natsuki? Come on, guys, Yuri isn't that bad. She's annoying at times, but she's still a member of the club. Not you too, Sayori. Girls, I never meant to be that way. Hey, you think she will, cut herself again? Probably, but who cares? Why? Why would you say that? I look around the darkness for the girls. Oh, look, it's her. Hi, Yuri. Ugh, why are you being so mean? I never meant to be that way. No one likes you, Yuri. Seriously, stop trying to get with Level Engine because you think you're all smart and have a more matured body than us. You're not anything he's going to ever want, and you're not anything we want around here either. I think we should go. What do you mean? Their voices fade away very shortly after. My knees weaken and I almost buckle over onto the ground. Holding one arm out against the wall, I keep myself from falling. I sniff as my tears start to pour over my cheeks. Yuri, how many times have I told you to stop being a weirdo? This is why your mother hates being around you. Father? You do weird things and you get weird outcomes. Look where you are now. Dad, I can explain. No one likes you. Why do you still keep yourself around? All you do is make things worse for everyone. Stop. Look at yourself. You're dirty, bloody, drugged, hurt, and alone. And let's not forget, Level Engine is dead because of you. Stop it! I grab onto my head and pull on my hair, screaming into the darkness. Do you remember how easy it was when you just accepted the truth? You never cared about anyone. You just focused on yourself. You didn't need anyone else. Everything was perfect, until you decided to ruin it all by joining the literature club. And what do you know? You made them all hate you too. I said stop it! I try to take a step forward, but buckle and crash against the floor. Please, just leave me alone. I can't handle this. I know I'm a stain on the world. I know I'm a failure. I know I'm hated. Maybe I thought things would change when I joined the literature club. I thought that things could be better when I met Level Engine, but I ruined it all. Again. Yuri, I hear you. Come out, wherever you are. A voice calls out from the way I came. The footsteps echo loudly across the walls. Damn it, I need to get going. I climb back to my feet and quickly walk down the hallway. Keeping my box cutter close, and my free hand outstretched to detect anything in front of me, I quicken my pace. The footsteps disappear and I can feel someone to my left. Someone grabs hold of my outstretched hand and starts to yank on it. I grunt as I slash the person with my box cutter. But before I can finish my swing, the person vanishes. Without hesitating for another second, I keep moving down the hallway until I come to a turn. I pick up my pace a little more as I rush to the dark corridor. At the end of the hallway is another center corridor that leads to a stairwell. A man stands next to one of the windows on the right of the stairwell, looks down at his phone. I recognize him from earlier. He was one of the guys who helped me down on the desk. He turns his head and jumps as he notices me. Hey, what the hell are you doing out here? He starts to charge towards me. Stay back! I hold the box cutter, trying to show him I'll attack, but he keeps coming. Get over here. And then I swing the box cutter at him. I barely make contact with his chest, but I feel the resistance as the blade tears through the surface of his skin. Eh? He recoils but catches my hand as I swing again. I see a blur come towards my face before. God damn it. That fucking stings! He still holds my hand, but I can't hold myself up anymore, and I begin sliding down the wall. He ends up holding me up by my arm as the rest of me dangles towards the ground in the daze. He shoves his fist right to the center of my gut, knocking the wind out of me and almost making me vomit right then and there. I drop the box cutter onto the ground and gasp for air. This wouldn't have happened if you weren't such a crazy knife-wielding bitch. God. Trying to desperately catch my breath, I look down to the floor and determine what I'm going to do. I quickly reach down and grab the box cutter as he readies another blow to my stomach. As soon as I have a good enough grip, I throw the box cutter upward, piercing directly into his stomach. Ah! He lets go of my hand and draws me to the ground. As he stumbles backward, I scramble to crawl out of the corner I backed myself into. When I reach the window, I push him to the side and dash towards the stairs. Come on, I can make it. I swear I saw 2 more people on either side of me in the halls before the stairs, but I didn't pay them too much mind. Finally, I anchor to the side and run to the door, using both my hands and pulling the handles as hard as I can. The doors don't budge, but I keep trying over and over again. All of a sudden, I hear someone behind me. I turn my head and notice another man coming directly towards me. Yuri, what are you doing here? These people just won't leave me alone. Overwhelming anger boils my blood and makes me grip my box cutter tighter than before. Turning to my side, I start to slash the box cutter at him over and over again. He steps to the side and dodges each of my swings. Are you crazy? He shouts as he continually backs up and away from my assault. I am not going to let this guy stop me from getting out of here. I fight through the exhaustion my lungs carry and keep slashing at him. He backs up into something, which caught him off guard because he leaves his stomach open. Grunting loudly, I shove my box cutter directly into his stomach. I twist it from side to side before finally pulling away. Blood drips off of the box cutter and from his stomach. Yuri. All of a sudden, my head clears and I see it in front of me, freezing my blood. Level engine? Oh my god. This entire time I thought he was someone else. Why didn't I see who he was before? I can barely find myself able to move. I'm frozen. You're alive? Why the hell wouldn't I be? Why do so many people try to kill her? I don't know. 'Cause money. They're getting paid to try and kill her. They told me that you died. He doesn't respond, only coughs. Finally snapping out of the frozen daze I was in, I rush over to him and kneel beside him. Oh my god, are you okay? I'm right as rain right now. I'm so sorry. My trembling hands reach up to my face in an effort to cover and shield my tears. What even happened? I don't know. I didn't see that it was you. I saw you with someone else. One of the people here who caused all of this. Oh, wait a second. Let me see your eyes. What? I said, let me see your eyes. Wincing, he leans towards me and looks me directly in the eyes. What has happened to you? Well, to be honest, I have no idea. I remember them forcibly injecting me with something. Injecting? You mean like a syringe? Yeah, and ever since then I felt weird and feel like I'm hearing and seeing things. That would make some sense. You acted like I was a monster or something. Are you okay? You're having some trouble breathing. Well, I have a pretty nasty gash in my stomach, so I think that is probably a reason why. Again, I'm so sorry. Honestly, it's fine. I could tell you weren't fully there. Another glance down at Level Engine's stomach shows me the profuse amount of blood he's losing. It sends me into a panic almost immediately. What do we do? I don't know, he just dies, I guess? I'm gonna guess this is not a good ending. Oof. Earlier. Using the back of my hand, I wipe the blood from my bottom lip. I'm out of breath and I'm running out of energy rapidly. I managed to fend off my attackers long enough to get away, but not unscathed. The sharp pain on my left side is most likely an indicator of a broken rib, and a warm, dull pain shoots up my right leg. It's most likely sprained. Damn it, I was hoping to get away a lot sooner, but they just kept getting up. Leaning my back against the wall, I run my hand through my hair while exhaling deeply. I need to find Yuri and get out of this hellhole. Situations like this aren't too stressful or difficult for me to manage on my own. But since Yuri is involved, I have to work for two, basically. I can't just worry about myself and escape, which is why I can't give up. I have to keep going. Centering my stance and mentally preparing myself, I start down the dark hallway once more. I hear yelling from several people around the building, no doubt looking for me. Keeping quiet, I scull through the hallway until I reach a bend. The bend veers off to my left and leads to a small door at the end. So this is the stairwell where he just encounters Yuri accidentally stabbing him. Probably faculty stairs? Either way, they're going to get me out of the immediate area of my pursuers. Starting up the stairs, I hear a scream off in the distance, but not in the specific direction to where I can pinpoint it. It sounds like Yuri! Dashing up the stairs to the next floor, a stretch leads me across the back hall of the building. Ignoring my leg, which is screaming at me to stop running, I continue to run down the hall. Reaching one of the upper level's hallways, I turn and notice someone standing in front of me. Hello, level engine. Well, long time no see. Are you liking your stay here? Well, maybe a kink here or there that'll probably go on my view, but other than that, sure. Enough of your witty talk. You're becoming more of a thorn in my side than I anticipated. You brought me here, what do you expect? I expect you to die quickly. You were wrong. I'm not going to be dying here, but I can't say the same for you. Alas, but you're a little too late for your dear friend. What? She kept fighting against us. We had no choice but to put her down like a dog. She was behaving too belligerently, and she was a danger. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small metallic pocket knife. It's one that Yuri gave to me shortly after the festival. It's covered in blood, which makes my stomach drop as soon as I notice it. You see this? This right here? This is what you killed your precious Yuri. So you have my pocket knife and managed to cut yourself on it. Big deal, that isn't proof that Yuri is dead. At this point, I'm testing a popular internal practice at my job. People's eyes tell you when they're lying. They behave a specific way without consciously knowing. And he exhibits some of these behaviors. You're just stalling now. Your tricks won't work on me. I know too much about you. Interesting, you do seem to know more than the average Joe. Would you be so kind as to explain how? I have my ways. If you find someone that interests you, you do research on them. Whether or not the research is extensive is something you determine. At first, when I was paid, I didn't give two shits about who and what you were. But after a while, I found an interest. And I kept learning more and more about you. So far, I've let him think he got me cornered, but no matter how much information he has on me, very little of it is actually about who I am and what I do. Not even the most talented private investigator would be able to uncover my origination. And that is part of the lore per se around me. What I'm really curious about is why you're here. I think it was evident. I'm here to get Yuri back. Okay, Captain Obvious, I'm talking about coming to this town. It's major. He scoffs and rubs his temples. I'm here to go to school, nothing more. What about your old school, eh? It wasn't a general education school. That's very obvious. Because look at you. You've done things no other boy your age could do. But why would you come here of all places to go to school? And join a literature club with only girls, no less. And? Do you not see the correlation here? Humor me with it. You, a new mysterious boy who has an insane physique and logical intelligence, just pops up. Teenage girls are more inclined to gravitate towards you because they see you as a perfect individual. You're basically taking advantage of these poor girls. Excuse me? I'm taking advantage of the girls? I've done nothing but do my best for them, to try and make them happy, to become their friend. And where'd that get you? That's right. Two of their friends are missing. One is dead, and the other is about to be. They are worried sick, and none of this would have happened if you hadn't shown up. This was all your fault. You did this. His words hit me directly inside. Normally I would be extremely upset at hearing someone antagonize me like this, but he's right. None of this would have happened if I never joined the literature club. None of this would have happened if I never came to this town in search of something that I will never have. A normal life. Damn it. My will to fight immediately weakens and I drop to my knees. What is this? Are you giving up already? Damn, I was willing to badger you a bit more. I lower my head to the ground and stare at the floor. The man walks towards me, unfolding the pocket knife in his hand. I guess the surefire way to break your defense is to attack what you care for. But this time I wasn't the one to do that. You did all of this yourself. It's a shame all this had to happen. Yuri didn't deserve to suffer for your existence. He raises the blade off my scalp, prompting me with a wind of a strike. Balling my left hand to a fist, I throw my arm upward and impact directly into his groin. Phew! Out of bodily instinct, he bends over, allowing me extra time to wrap my arm around his wrist and secure the blade. Next, I stand up while wrapping my other free hand around his neck. Forcing myself to push through the pain in my leg and ribcage, I throw myself and the man forward. My momentum allows me to slam him into the hard marbled flooring. Standing over him, I wait for a response. He remains motionless as still, confirming he's lost consciousness. She may not deserve it, but you do. I'm not going to let her down. Yeah, I heard that PewDiePie actually hit like 100 mil like last night? He actually hit 100 mil. I was doing my Metroid Prime live stream like last night. And I missed it because I was just, yeah, playing Google Translated Metroid still. I swear to God, I will not let anyone stop me. Looking around to see if anyone else is here, I clear the room and head towards the stairwell. Each step downward sends shooting pain up my leg and into my back. When I reach the midway of the level, I take a second to steady my breathing. Damn, I forgot how much a broken rib stings. During training, I ended up breaking one because I was sparring with someone much larger than I. My instructor decided that was a great idea. But then again, he always told us that if we can't work against a greater opponent, we won't get anywhere in the field. As much as I hated him, he was right. Right, I can keep going now. I start down the steps again, but hear several people talking around the corner. Inching as close as I can to edge without exposing myself, I eavesdrop on their conversation. I'm not really sure what to think about that. It's not like it matters. They have an offensive lineman that could get through anything. Whatever. Just wait until I win the bet. I'm gonna need that $50. Yeah, anyway. Have you heard anything about the boss, from the boss about the two kids? Nope, I think he's still deciding what to do. Why don't we just kill him? That's what I said, but no, the boss wants them alive for some reason. It pisses me off. For real, it's whatever though. As long as we get paid, I don't care what we do. I guess. Come on, I need a cigarette. So they aren't trying to kill Yuri and me just yet. But the two men from the forest directly tried to kill me, so there has to be some degree of disorder in this group's leadership. Whoever's behind this has some ulterior motive for keeping us alive. But I'll be damned if I'm going to hang around long enough to find out. Contemplate my next moves to distract from the pain. I'm going to need to find my handgun. Or any firearm, actually. I'm not reliable enough right now to get into another close quarters brawl. Stepping out onto the bottom floor, I turn to my left and head towards the lounge from earlier. Nothing. Perfect. I try the knob and luckily it opens. Idiots. I slide into the crack of the door and quietly close it behind me. The couch is of course empty, so they've taken care of their buddy. The TV is off. Some glasses of various drinks are scattered about, and a half-eaten cheese pizza still lies in the box on a table. Along one of the walls are a string of cabinets and shelves. Not hesitating for a second, I start to search through each of them. Magazines, a recipe book, spare plastic forks and spoons, various cords and chargers, a dog collar, pens and pencils. Ugh. Just as I give up on searching through the various cupboards and drawers, I notice a small shelf near the door that's perfectly hidden when you come in. And what I see on top of it genuinely makes me smile. I grab hold of my handgun and slide the magazine out. No change in munitions and it's still chambered. But my other magazines aren't with it. It's a little disheartening, but now I have a much better chance against my enemies. Using my hands as a cup, I fill them with water and drink it. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I actually heard that he hit 100 mil subscribers like last night. When you're in a constantly stressful situation, you forget that your breathing can be consistently labored. So moments where you can actually breathe really help clear the mind and calm the nerves. I splash water on my face one last time before taking another drink. Drawing my hands off on my pants, I turn around and hold my handgun tightly in my grip. I walk towards the door, but stop when I hear something down the hall. It sounds like someone is running down the stairs. Cracking the door open slightly, I peek down the hallway just as a purple blur turns the corner towards the front door. Wait a second. Was that Yuri? Ugh. Yuri's grunt prompts me to immediately leave the room and rush down the hall towards the door. When I turn the corner, Yuri is trying to open the main doors. Yuri, what are you doing here? She turns around and has a burning look in her eyes. She brandishes a bloody box cutter in my direction and barely gives any articulation before violently swinging at me. What the hell? I dodge to my left and right, just narrowly evading the blade of the box cutter. So now we're getting to see the same altercation from the main character's point of view. Are you crazy? Damn it, I have to find some way to disarm her. I can't move backward anymore, something blocks me. Behind me is the overturned desk from earlier. Damn it, that thing is gonna... Yuri thrusts the blade of her weapon into my abdomen. She twists the blade a few times from left to right before finally pulling the blade out. Unable to hold myself up anymore, I collapse against the wall and slide down it. Blood starts to expel from my abdomen and I place one of my hands over the wound to stop the bleeding. Yuri! Level engine! She immediately recoils away from me and looks at the box cutter. You're alive? Why the hell? Why wouldn't I be? Why the hell she looks so surprised? She just tried to kill me. They told me that you died. I fight back the urge to cough, but fail. Oh my god, are you okay? I'm right as rain right now. I continue to press against my stomach and apply pressure. I'm so sorry. Yuri reaches up and places her head in her hands, avoiding eye contact with me. What even happened? I don't know. I didn't see that it was you. I saw you as someone else. One of the people who caused all this. She didn't see me as me? What kind of sense does that make? Her eyes look strange. Wait a second. Let me see your eyes. What? I said, let me see your eyes. What has happened to you? Her pupils are dilated hardcore. Well, to be honest, I have no idea. I mean, I remember them forcibly injecting me with something. Injecting? You mean like a syringe? Once the tickle in my throat dissipates, the pain and the bleeding start to make it hard to catch my breath. Yeah, and ever since then I felt weird and I feel like I've been hearing and seeing things. That would make some sense. You acted like I was a monster or something. Are you okay? You're having some trouble breathing. I have a pretty nasty gash in my stomach, so I think that is probably a reason why. Again, I'm so sorry. I could tell you weren't fully there. The sight makes her gasp and nearly panic. What do we do? Well, I need to stop the bleeding before I keel over. How can we do that? Looking down, I lift up my shirt to expose the wound. It doesn't look too deep, but nevertheless I'm still bleeding at a concerning rate. And how long will this take to stop bleeding is going to be extremely detrimental to her survival and escape. As soon as Yuri sees the wound, her face turns white. Listen, there's a small lounge just down the hall to our right. I saw a first aid kit in there earlier on the southern side of the room near the bookshelf. Run in there and grab it so we can put something on this. Oh my god, it hurts like a son of a bitch. I breathe in and out deeply to help stabilize my heart rate. An irregular and overworked heart rate can increase the amount of blood flow throughout your body. And that is the opposite of what you want when you're bleeding. You want to mitigate the amount of blood that leaks out as much as possible, and lowering how fast your blood pumps is a must. So until Yuri returns, I'm going to try and focus on my breathing. Okay, like she does make it back before my guy keels over. I'm sorry it took so long. You're fine, Yuri. She hesitantly opens the red and white plastic case and searches through it. Finds some gauze, the thickest that is there. Right. Oh, this kit has a small bottle of rubbing alcohol. What percentage? What do you mean? It's isopropyl alcohol, right? There should be a percentage listed somewhere. 70%? Perfect. Often known as simple rubbing alcohol, is a very effective disinfectant and antiseptic. However, any higher of a percentage would not disinfect as well as 70%, believe it or not. And of course, any lower of a percentage would be as ineffective as the former. 70% has a good balance of water and alcohol to denature the proteins of bacterial cells, killing them much quicker and more effectively than other types. If you have too much water, it will take longer to disinfect and won't be potent. If you have too little water, the alcohol won't be able to destroy microorganisms as effectively due to the high evaporation rate and less contact time with the affected area. Yuri, I'm going to pour this on my wound. Do you have the gauze ready? Yes. Press the gauze onto it and push to keep pressure on it when I say, alright? Right. She hands me the bottle of alcohol and I uncap it. Breaking the plastic seal on the bottle with my finger, I mentally prepare myself for what is next. Exposing the full wound, I start pulling the alcohol on it. Jesus Christ! I see only red for a few seconds as the intense stinging shoots through my entire body. Fighting against my body, which desperately pleads to stop the pain, I keep a steady stream of alcohol contact. The blood starts to drip down my sides with the alcohol. After a few more seconds, I stop pouring and practically drop the bottle onto the ground. Yuri fidgets and tries to keep her composure. I can tell she isn't too comfortable with how much blood is involved. The pain finally decides to give me a sweet break and dies down. Making eye contact with Yuri, I nod for her to apply the gauze. The sudden sting of the gauze pressing against my open wound makes me jump a little, but I manage to gain control over it again immediately. Level engine, I'm not putting you through much pain with this, right? I can stop if you want me to. No, you're fine. This was bound to be the opposite of fun anyway. How long until the bleeding stops? Hard to tell, it's all circumstantial. But if I had to guess, 10 minutes. 10 minutes?! The gauze is going to keep me from bleeding out. With the amount of alcohol I poured onto it, the immediate risk of infection is not concerning. My body's going to try to claw out the wound to prevent further bleeding. And while it does that, I shouldn't move. I see. I grunt again and lean back against the wall. Hand me one of the elastic bandages in the kit. I'm going to dress my abdomen so the gauze can stay in place. I'll do that for you. It's the least I can do right now to help since... She cuts herself off and gives a disappointed look off to the side. In response, I lift my shirt more and lean away from the wall. Yuri grabs a rather large roll of bandage and gingerly wraps it around my stomach. Put more tension on the bandage, it's a little loose. Right. Yuri tightens the bandage to an acceptable degree of comfort and security. Afterwards, she quickly brings her hands back to her sides and looks away. I bring my shirt down and cover the bandage. Thank you, Yuri. It's no problem. It's good to see you again. You don't know how happy I am to hear that. It's really good to see you, too. It's been very stressful, but seeing you makes me feel a lot better. Can't say I don't feel the same. How did you get here? I was ambushed in the forest. I managed to take one of them down, but the other ran. So I followed him and realized he was purposely leading me somewhere, and I played along with his little game. I knew that he was planning another ambush against me, so if I let it happen, I knew that if he overwhelmed me, they would capture me and bring me here. And when I saw the same man a little earlier, he basically confirmed my theories were. Did you tell them anything they wanted to know? Only a little. But this isn't the first time someone has tried to force information out of me. There are ways to kind of see it coming, and ways you can manipulate the circumstance. But I wasn't going to try and risk endangering your life any further. What did they want to know? This isn't really something I can tell her either, but Yuri deserves to know the reason she was involved in this bullshit. There's a lot I need to tell you. So you went to a boarding school? In essence, yes. And even before that, I made a lot of enemies. My father brought many people around and cohorted with them on a multitude of activities. And with that, my father pissed a lot of people off. And as ironic as it sounds, sometimes when you have to get to someone, you go after someone close to them. I see. Why'd that one guy keep mentioning they want you to reveal who you truly are? There's a lot of people who don't know about me. A lot that I don't like about myself and want to change. It's part of the reason I came here. I just want to go to a normal school and live a normal life. Free from the chaos and turmoil of my norm. And it just seems like at times the more I run, the faster everything catches up to me. I just continually make things worse. Even through the actions I take, I can never fully trust they're going to be the right thing to do. Take this for example. I am the reason you're involved with this. They used you to get to me, which I don't think I can ever forgive myself for. And I've had to make decisions that I don't really trust would end up well. You sound a lot like me, Level Engine. Huh? I always think I make things worse. In fact, I'm pretty sure I do. If I hadn't gotten so close to you, you wouldn't be in this situation either. These people wouldn't have extorted you just so you could rescue me. And because of that, you've put yourself in a lot of danger just to save me. Someone like me doesn't deserve that. Yuri looks away from me while rubbing her eyes. You're right. You don't deserve any of this. Yuri, you're a sweet girl who isn't hard to make happy. You're most happy with things like books, which you can immerse yourself and others in. I can easily tell that when you explain a poem or story to me. You're passionate about those fictional worlds, and that is where you find your comfort. It's because I can't find comfort anywhere else. Everything I do or say, I hesitate. These hesitations are because, well, I'm scared of making things worse. That's nothing compared to my family. I say some pretty weird shit, Yuri. I didn't mean to laugh at that, I'm sorry. Don't be, it was meant to cheer you up. Yuri timidly wraps one of her arms around my shoulders and hugs back. I can see a small twinge of flustered embarrassment in her eyes, paired with a small coy smile. But the moment doesn't last long before I realize where we were. We're still in the main lobby area. I'm completely defenseless and leapt open for any one of our captors to take the kill. Yuri, we need to get out of this lobby. We're too exposed. Good idea. Do you know a good place where you can rest for a bit? What about the basement I was kept in? Where is it? Just down the hall a little here. No. It's too easy for someone to hide outside the door for us, and if we need to get out quickly and easily, we'll need a secondary exit. Right. Yuri looks down towards the floor and visibly ponders towards herself. What about one of the classrooms on this floor? I was in one earlier and it was completely empty. Maybe we can find an unlocked room and rest in there? We should find one that is away from the main lobby here so it's less traveled. Right, I'll look around. Are you sure you're going to be okay alone for a few minutes? Yeah, don't worry about me, I'm fine. But she accepts it and starts to walk down the hallway to our right, leaving me alone in the lobby. I take the opportunity to exhale deeply and release some of the pain I've been feeling. Yuri is already struggling enough to stay as brave as she's been. I can't really let her see that I'm in constant pain or stress myself. But she's been extremely brave so far. It both surprises and amazes me. For a girl like Yuri, who is extremely shy, timid, and scared of confrontation, to muster up the strength and try to escape from dangerous and unsettling odds. That's my type of girl, ha. Chuckling to myself, I remove my hand from my stomach and alleviate the pressure on it. The pain lessens, but ultimately doesn't go away. Scooting my back up against the wall more, the pain burns inside and causes me to grunt loudly. Yuri comes back a few seconds later, eyes shining a glimmer of hope. I found an open and empty room we can try. Perfect. Would you mind helping me up? Not at all. So we get up and go to the room. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I got it. I catch myself before I lose my footing and stabilize both of us. Sorry. No, don't apologize. It's not really your fault. Let's get to the room quickly. Yuri wraps my right arm around her shoulders and tries to use her weight to keep me supported. I keep my left hand pressed tightly and against my stomach, pushing through the pain in my ribcage and leg. Are you okay? I'm a little more than fucked up right now. Pretty sure I have a rib or two broken along with a sprained leg. I'm sorry to hear that. Yuri slurs her words towards at the end of that sentence, which stirs up some concern with me. We shuffle through the hallway and reach the door. Yuri reaches to open the door, we both step in. But Yuri seems out of breath suddenly, and looking down at their knees, I can see them visibly shake. Yuri, I think I got it from here. Are you sure? Yeah, you should sit down and rest. How's your stomach feeling? I'll be okay, I just need to rest for a bit. Yuri's words begin to slur again, and I finally realize what's going on. Whatever they drugged her with is starting to affect her again. The sudden shock of what she did to me earlier must have snapped her out of it. Good. Good. I sit down and lean back against one of the walls near the door, so if anyone looks in, they won't be able to see me. Yuri drops to her knees and starts to feverishly look around. They're coming back! Immediate desperation and fear emanate from her soft voice. Yuri, I need you to stay with me right now. Look at me. What? Look at me here, right here in front of you. Can you hear me, Yuri? Yeah, I can hear you. Why is everyone saying these things to me? Yuri is reacting to what I think are mental hallucinations. Whatever this drug is doing to her, it's amplifying her subconscious emotions. And, well, with Yuri, that is pretty concerning. It probably was a factor in here nearly gutting me earlier. I reach out and offer my hand to her. Yuri, take my hand. Yuri, I'm not going to hurt you or say anything bad. I just want you to trust me. I do trust you. But how can you trust me? I stabbed you. I just do. If I didn't, Yuri, I wouldn't have even come here to rescue you. Please, take my hand, sit down next to me, and rest your eyes. Okay. Oh, phew. I thought main character was actually going to get killed for a second. Yuri reaches out and grasps onto my hand, scooting herself next to me. Just rest your eyes for a bit. Is that really safe right now? It will be, I promise. With little hesitation, Yuri rests her head against my shoulder and closes her eyes. I wait for a little bit until I'm fairly certain she's unconscious. The situation I'm in is so fucked. Even if I do manage to rest a bit and let my body recover from the stab, I still can't fight. I'm not even sure I can make it out of this alive. But regardless, Yuri needs to, and I will see to that. But for now, I can't do anything in this condition, and I have no painkillers to help me through this, so I guess I need to just endure whatever else comes our way. I'll do this the way I always have. Exhaustion overcoming me, I allow myself to slip to a short rest. Yuri's scream wakes me up. Regaining consciousness, I look around the room and notice the same man from earlier said Yuri was dead standing over her. He holds the silver pocket knife in his hand and tries to plunge it into Yuri, but she seems to be holding him at bay. Yuri. I can't talk. I'm too weak. Son of a bitch. Reaching my hand out in desperation, I'm forced to take in the sight. Yuri tries to keep the knife away from her, but the man puts his weight onto his upper body and the knife starts to come down slowly. Yuri's panicked face sends a shockwave of tenacious fury through me. Staying as quiet as I can, I force my body to stand up, ignoring every surge of pain and discomfort that tempts me to bind me to the ground. Once on my feet, I lurch over and prepare my assault. Taking a deep breath in, I sprint towards him. He turns his head and looks at me, eyes widening as soon as I crash into him. Level engine! What the hell? How are you still alive? I could say the same about you. You look just as fucked up as I. Your act-out girlfriend cut the shit out of me. I manage to crawl on top and reach for his throat. But he slams his fist against my face and kicks me in the stomach, launching me off of him. The pain from being kicked in my abdomen nearly sends me into a nauseated shock. You just don't die, do you? You fight off all of us, exhausting and injuring yourself in the process. You get stabbed by that bitch over there, nearly bleed to death, and you come back from an almost comatose state to keep fighting? He returns to his feet and walks over to me. Yuri, out of the corner of my eye, starts crawling backward away from us. Unable to comprehend what is going on around me due to the intense pain and shock, I feel an impact against my stomach. Eh? Does that hurt? Ah, that's right, it does. Now you understand how it feels to have pain inflicted on you. From what I've heard about you, you only know how to be the one bringing the pain. And now that the roles are reversed, how does it feel? Huh? Ah! Haha, that's what I thought. Now excuse me as I finish off your problem of a companion. He steps out of my vision and starts towards Yuri. But please, stay away from me! Shut up. You're done. I'm sick of you and the problems you cause. You and that demon over there. This all should have been very simple and easy, but you just had to fight back. What did you expect? We aren't just going to sit down and let you kill us. Forcing myself to roll over, I face both Yuri and the man. Well, that's too bad. Now you get to watch me do what I've wanted to do ever since all this started. Yuri crawls backward as far as she can until she corners herself, the man approaching her ever so menacingly. No. I watch in complete shock as he picks up the pocket knife again and points it to Yuri, who holds her hands out to block. Because of me, Yuri is going to die. He is going to force me to watch this. Why did I have to get involved in her life? Why did I even have to come here and ruin everything for the girls? It's because you're worthless and you're scum. You failed to be what I wanted you to be, and you will always be a failure. You don't even have that bitch to hide behind anymore. I can't let it end like this. I will prove him wrong. I will prove them all wrong. Ignoring everything but my burning desire to destroy my enemy, I force myself back up. I grab hold of my handgun and remove from the small of my back. Not hesitating anymore, I run up to him as fast as my body can possibly take me. As he turns around to look at me, I slam the butt of my handgun against his head. He stumbles and falls onto the ground. Making sure to be quick, I aim my firearm at both of his knees and fire. God damn it! If you want to put someone through pain, someone who knows how to endure pain, then you better be ready to receive it too. I throw the gun back to my right and reach down to pick up the man. Forcibly turning him back onto his stomach, I grab the middle of his back and the back of his hair and lift him up. His grunts and whimpers from both of his destroyed knees distract him from what I plan on doing. Mustering up enough strength, I slam him against the wall, making sure his forehead takes the brunt of the blow. Next, I kick the back of his knees and bring them down onto them. A sick, mushy sound emanates from where his kneecaps used to be. Stop! Gah! Still gripping onto the back of his head, I slam his face against the wall again. Stop! Get off of me! Ah! When I let go of his head, his body flips over to the side, revealing the caved-in portion of his forehead. Blood and small chunks of skull fragments spill onto the floor. Yuri stands up and places her hand on my shoulder. The pain begins to subside. Are you okay? Oh, I'm fine. What about you? Are you okay? She doesn't look to have any signs of injury, but I ask just to make sure. Raymond, I don't actually recognize you. And do you still remember me? Okay, so feel free to, remind me, when we first, met each other, on stream. Because I doubt I even remember you. I'm just so absorbed in this DDLC mod right now. I'm barely even looking at the chat. Let me be honest, I'm completely immersed with this one. He didn't hurt me. Good. I lean forward and grip onto my stomach. I met you in a Super Mario ROM hack video and chat on a stream. I'm trying to think, like, I've probably done quite a few of those Super Mario ROM hack live streams, so I'm probably not going to remember the exact one. Yeah, I definitely did do a couple of those, even on live streams. The warm feeling returns when I realize that my stomach is probably in worse condition now than it was before. I didn't play Cybon Action on live stream. I didn't start live streaming until, like, I think 2016 or... no, maybe even 2017. Cybon Action, that ROM hack from Dropgoss/Tomaka, I played that back in 2013. That was, like, a long time ago. Still probably won't be any better. Like, if I play it again, it's still probably gonna suck. Wonder if I could even beat that last level, but not like I want to try and find out. Better yet, I'd have to see if I can even find the damn thing. I mean, Xandro did just more or less archive every ROM hack that ever existed, or almost all of them, so I think I'll be able to find it if I want to, but honestly, I don't. I start coughing into my free hand spontaneously. Oh god, level engine. Yuri looks down at my hand after I pull it away from my mouth. Small drops of blood sit on my hand. The pain in my ribcage is definitely skyrocketed, which would mean one of my lungs is punctured slightly. The more I cough, the more I risk the puncture getting larger and more severe. We need to get out of here now. Those gunshots most likely alerted everyone in and around the building. What do we do? I set up a place where we can safely get out. Unless it's been tampered with, we should be able to get out through there easily. The front door is locked and we don't have the keys to get out. Breaking it would make too much noise. Alright, smartass, let's go. Nothing. This is our opportunity to move. I quietly and gently open the door, with Yuri directly behind me. I start to head toward the dark hallway I woke up in earlier. Once we enter the hallway, several pairs of footsteps start tailing us, stopping short before the hallway. Yuri, get behind cover. I whisper just loud enough for Yuri to hear me. She crouches behind a side table with what seems to be a toolbox on. I stand parallel to a ladder just placed perfectly enough for me to be hidden. Where are they? I'm not sure, but find and kill them. A flashlight shines down the hall, narrowly missing both Yuri and I. I think I heard something upstairs. Go check it out. The flashlight points down to the ground and leaves. From across the hall, Yuri looks at me, waiting for orders. I nod to the left, signaling her to keep going. After Yuri disappears from the hallway, I follow suit. Once we reach the familiar turn that I recall, something feels different. Something feels off. Yuri keeps going ahead of me, but... Yuri, wait! Huh? She stops and looks back. Lights turn on from a huge floodlight placed in the corner of the hall. Found them! Son of a bitch! From the hall, several armed men start charging towards us. Yuri, get to the window at the end of the hallway. Break it with the felt I left next to it so we don't get hurt. I'm gonna buy you time to do that. Yuri looks back and pleads with me to come with her. But I throw my hand down the hall to gesture her to go. You need to go. Don't worry about me, I'll meet you outside. Get over here. Two men start to close the gap, sprinting extremely fast. As one gets closer to me, I reach down and grab a paint bucket by its handle. When he gets close enough to me, I swing the bucket and watch it slam to the side of his head, dropping him down to the ground instantly. You son of a bitch. The other charges directly towards me, holding something in his hands that I can't clearly see through the blinding light. Fearing it to be a gun, I quickly shift to my left and get behind the bend of the wall, breaking her line of sight. When he turns the corner, I can indeed see he's carrying a handgun. I wrap both my hands around his forearm and push upward. He grunts and tries to wrestle his arms back down, but I manage to get in between the gap of his arms and chest. Taking a deep breath inward, at the peak of my inhale, I throw the entirety of my weight straight down, making sure to pivot my hip and angling my right shoulder so he flies over. Once his back hits the ground, I shove my fist into his Adam's apple. Several others are coming down the hall, their footsteps and yelling voices giving me more and more information on how close they are to me. Punch the man again in his throat, lets go of his gun. Reaching to the small of my back, I grab my handgun and aim both guns down the hall at my incoming aggressors. I blind fired on the hallway to suppress their advance. The burning in my lungs and the stinging in both my leg and stomach are numbed at the moment because of the insane amounts of adrenaline my body is producing. However, my breathing is suffering because of all the activity I'm doing with an injured body. What the hell is taking Yuri so long? The light illuminates the rest of the hallway we're going down enough that I can see her moving at the end of it. We need to get out of here right now. I take both handguns and blind fire down the hallway once more. Alright, time's up. We need to go. I turn and run down the hallway. Yuri stands at the window, pounding on it and trying to break it. What is the holdup? It won't break! Yuri, face me. She turns around and faces me as I get closer to her. But I don't slow down. When I make contact with her, I wrap my arms around her. Pivoting my hip and forcing Yuri to cover her face against my chest, I throw my back into the window and send us flying through it. Holy shit. I land directly on my back, shielding Yuri from the broken glass and cushioning her fall. The force of my crash landing knocks the wind out of me, but I keep my arms wrapped around Yuri. An overwhelming urge to cough forces me to lurch my chest up. Rolling over onto my side, I push Yuri off of me and try to sit up. The jagged pieces of glass that stick out of my back don't make it too comfortable a place to lie down. And on top of that, we're still being chased and we need to get out of here immediately. Are you okay? Yeah, come on, we need to get out of here. Finally catching my breath, I stand up and offer my hand to Yuri. She reluctantly takes it and we both start running along the edge of the forest. Yuri runs alongside me, her eyes full of fear and her breathing starting to become labored. We can keep going. We need to find a phone somewhere. But where do we find a phone? We need to get back into town and find a public place. That'll be the safest for us. We keep running until we find a long and narrow roadway that leads into town. I know exactly where we are now. This is the road that Julia takes whenever we head to her office. Both Yuri and I hunch over and lean into our knees to breathe. We need to get to a phone so I can call the police and Julia. I couldn't find in the lounge where I found my gun, so I'm not even sure where it is. Locating it wasn't really a priority at the time, but it would have been useful right now. Yuri, are you ready to keep going? Yeah. You don't sound like it. Focus your breathing through your nose. If you keep inhaling through your mouth frantically, you're going to get a cramp in your stomach, and that means less oxygen to your blood. Okay. We keep running. All I am running off of right now is adrenaline. I'm sure Yuri is too, and being drugged probably doesn't help her. The sound of a car starting behind us almost sends me into a sudden speed boost. God damn it, they're actually going to chase us. Yuri, I want you to run ahead and behind a bush so they can't see you. What about you? Listen, they're going to pursue us no matter what. The least I can do is slow them down as much as I can. You can do this, trust me. I can handle myself. I would believe you if we weren't so hurt. Fair point. Get going. I place one of my hands on Yuri's back and shove her forward. She involuntarily starts running, leaving me behind. Turning around to face the approaching vehicle, I ready my handguns. Keeping my aim focused on the road, I move next to a bush that can at first conceal my immediate position. That's right. Come right to me. Headlights beam just over the hill we are on, and the car starts to speed down towards me. I fire 3 rounds into the general area of the rear passenger tire, hoping I can hit my mark through my pain. A loud pow bursts through the air as the vehicle swerves out of control. Due to its high velocity, the tire being blown out suddenly throws the car on an uncontrollable bat-out-of-hell journey into a nearby tree. The driver flies out and through the windshield, slamming into the tree and instantly killing him. The passengers are thrown about too. They're not all dead, but for now they're incapacitated. This is perfect. Yuri and I have more time to run. Looking behind me, I see Yuri peering up over a bush. Damn, she made some considerable distance in that short time, and I guess now it's my turn to catch up. Since the adrenaline's wearing off, I'm going to be having a very hard time very soon. The mere fact that I was even mobile during that little altercation amazes me. But I can't stop now. I can't afford to. When I finally reach Yuri, my knees strain to keep me upright, and then my stomach feels warm again. Jesus. I reach down and press my hand against my stomach and look down at it. More and more blood keeps seeping through the bandages. I swallow whatever saliva is left in my mouth and silently try to keep the blood on my hand a secret from Yuri. I can't have her freak out more than she already is, and this would send her over the edge. So I guess I'm feigning my health right now. Everything alright? Oh, yeah, everything is fine. Alright. Come on, let's keep going. This probably won't be the only car they send after us. You really think they'll send more after us? Oh yeah, this just showed us how badly they want to prevent our escape. Eventually we reach the outskirts of the town and start going down some alleyways and roads, desperately looking for help. Each step is getting harder and harder to take. My mouth is beginning to dry up. I feel like I'm going to vomit, and I think it might be a little chilly out here. How is it this hard to find somebody? Whoa. I reach out and grab her arms and torso. Now isn't the time to be getting dizzy. Sorry. I just can't see straight right now. Her words begin to slur again. God damn it. Don't worry, Yuri. Once we get help, we'll find out what they drugged you with. You'll be back to good health in no time. Towards the end of that sentence, I feel my stomach churn in a gag. Level engine! I'm fine! The heaves from my gags cramp my stomach and my wound. Gah, fuck. Taking sharp inhales, I managed to keep myself from shouting out. Do you think we can walk a little more? Yeah, of course. Good. When I let go of her arm, she looks down and notices the blood that covered my hand. Is that? Don't worry about it. Let's just keep going. The sooner we find help, the better. Looking around, I notice an alleyway I've seen several times before on my commute with Julia. There, let's go down that alleyway. I think there's a convenience store over there. Okay. So are we gonna make it? Lux smiles onto Yuri and me. The store is there and it's open. A police car sits out in front of it and the officer is inside talking with the cashier. Oh my god, Level Engine, you were right! That police officer inside can call an ambulance. We're saved! Level Engine? I can't hold myself up anymore. Level Engine! Oh my god. Young lady, what happened? Officer, my friend here is really hurt. He needs to go to the hospital. Clarence, can you call 911? I'm gonna try and give emergency care to this boy. Let me guess. After all the shit he went through to try and save Yuri and himself, he's not gonna make it. I'm willing to bet right now he's gonna die. It's gotta be a tragic ending. I'm calling it. I'm fucking calling it. Ma'am, I need you to move out of the way. Give him some air. What are you doing? I'm gonna try and give him CPR. He isn't breathing. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Come on now, kid. Stay with me. Oh my god. Ma'am, what is his name? It's Level Engine. Level Engine, can you hear my voice? I need you to answer me, bud. Please, for the love of God. The ambulance is on its way. They said they want you to call in. I'm a little busy right now. He has a knife wound on his stomach, and he said something about a broken rib and I think a sprained leg? Jesus Christ. I wish you would have told me that before I started giving him CPR. But I didn't have any other choice. He isn't breathing. Come on, son. Just listen to my voice. I need you to wake up and talk. You can do this. He still has a pulse, but it's very weak. His lack of breathing isn't helping either. Look, it's the ambulance. Thank God. Okay, so they made it to a hospital apparently, but did he survive? Ugh. When I open my eyes, the world slowly starts to phase in. But where am I? You're in the hospital. What? How are you here? She looks comfortable, so she must have been there for a while. I'm your emergency contact. Did you forget? Oh. They got you on the good painkillers. Do you feel funny? I can't feel my face. Good. Where's Yuri? She's resting in another room. I want to see her. I try to sit up, but Julia quickly sits up and forces me back down. You can't get up. What the hell is wrong with you? What? You will rip a stitch open. The bandages are there to help secure them and keep your stomach from falling out of your body. What? I was only stabbed by a box cutter. Be that as it may, when you arrived here, your wound was ripped open beyond hell. The fact that you didn't just bleed out and die in your walk to the town is a miracle in itself. I see. It didn't feel too good either, did it? Hell no. You must have hidden it pretty well too, since Yuri said you made no mention of it until he just dropped on the asphalt parking lot. Yeah, that was my intention. It was to keep her from worrying, right? To keep her from panicking is more accurate. This time I was, I guess, justified, but you do have a habit of hiding your pain from others. Even if you're hurt and in need of help. Ask for help when it's necessary. And when is necessary? Like earlier when you went into shock and couldn't say shit about what you were going through? You nearly died out there, Level Engine. If the ambulance hadn't come out when it did, I would be burying you right now. Alright, I get it. I fucked up, I'm sorry. I know Ashley and I trained you to ignore pain and get the job done, but I think we taught you a little too well. Every person has their limit, no matter how rugged, trained, or hardened they are. And it's best we never push ourselves past that breaking point. I don't... She stops herself, like she was about to say something she didn't mean to share out loud. What? Don't worry about it. No, tell me. Not many things make you just stop in place like that, so this must be important. Fine. I don't want to lose you, Level Engine. You mean a lot to me, and I refuse to fathom you not being around anymore. Normally, she doesn't really tell me about these kinds of feelings. If she does, I just shrug it off as her being hormonal. But I guess I understand with what type of position I put her in, and it definitely deserves to be recognized. With a deep breath, I look at Julia and assure her, I understand where you're coming from. It was wrong of me to endanger myself as much as I did. I wanted so very badly just to protect Yuri, since I am the entire reason this all happened. It was unfair for her to be dragged into something that just my presence instigated. And like a fool, I rushed into the situation without regard for my safety. It's kind of your style. You're meant to do whatever it takes to complete your assignments. But that has almost as many cons as it does pros. Regardless, I'm sorry, Julia, for making you worry. Wow, I wasn't expecting to apologize. It's alright, Level Engine. I'm proud of you, even if you nearly cost someone very dear to me. As conscious as Yuri was, she gave me a brief rundown on what happened, and you did very well. Wonder if she's okay. She wasn't in any life-threatening danger when I lost consciousness, but the drug she was administered is what plagues my mind. So let's talk about what happened. You sure? I think it's important to discuss the terms of what almost killed me. Because Yuri was she was drugged. I was going to say unstable, but yeah, that's a better way of putting it. But she wasn't giving me information that seemed 100%. I want to know if she's okay. What's this all of a sudden? Julia, I want to know if Yuri's okay. Her vitals are stable, but the medical staff are still waiting on her blood labs to come back. As of right now, we are unsure of exactly what she was given. How was she acting? She kept saying she was hearing and seeing things, but there was nothing there. She couldn't keep herself upright a lot of the time, and her speech was heavily slurred and impaired. And it seemed to have been affecting her in waves, too. Yeah, it's definitely something that affects the brain, but that's not too vast of a field to really estimate accurately right now. We're just going to have to wait until the results come back. When will that be? Not sure, but I made sure to put it on urgent status. Thank you. Now, can you tell me everything exactly that happened? Sure. Wow. That's a lot. Yeah, tell me about it. Well, you survived it all. Just like we trained you. I didn't do it because I was trained to. I had to not only protect Yuri, but prove a few points to myself. What do you mean? Let's not worry about that right now. Anyway, their main goal was for you to reveal your affiliation with the company? I assume so, because they know about Oceanside. To be fair, if you can find someone who knows about Oceanside, it really isn't much of a secret. To the general public, of course. It isn't known since it's entirely private. For good reason, too. What information did you give them? Ashley's name. That's pretty much it. So it actually came in handy for once. I have no idea why they were trying to get this information. It basically looks like it was a personal attack on you and not the company as a whole. Perhaps. You should probably head home now. It's late and you look extremely tired. Never comment on if a girl looks tired, okay? And plus, I'm gonna stay here with you. We have things to discuss tomorrow anyway. Right. Then good night, I guess. Good night, Level Engine. When I come to, a weird, tingly feeling covers my body. The painkillers must constantly be fed into me, and I'm not used to it. It's almost nauseating. I place both of my hands on the guardrails and help prop myself up. Julia isn't in the room. I was hoping to see Yuri, but oh well. A pretty-looking nurse sits at a desk in a room and writes on a whiteboard behind it. I never noticed that desk before. I must have been out of it last night. Jesus. Oh, Level Engine, you're awake. Did you sleep well? I have almost no recollection of anything that happened, so I'm not really sure. Well, you weren't in that good of a condition when you came in. You became unstable and we had to give you immediate care. How does a boy like yourself even get so hurt? By protecting someone he cares about. Oh, that's sweet. It was that girl with you when you came in, right? Yeah, her name is Yuri. She's a sweet girl. One of the other nurses tells me she keeps asking for you. But unfortunately, both of you need your rest. I understand. Taking a look around, peering out the window of the sunlight that blankets my eyes. I remind myself of the events that happened last night. It was so much, and how badly I was hurt really made it difficult to recall. How long am I going to be in here for? Around a week. A wound as bad as the one in your stomach is going to need a lot of attention and care. You also have to factor in that you went into hypovolemic shock. Jesus, did I lose that much blood? Oh yeah, you're almost dead white when you came in. We managed to stabilize you and get you comfortable for us to get that out of the way first. Now we're just going to need to check up on you over the course of the next week so we can make sure you're getting better. Damn, that's a long time. I hate hospitals. No one really likes them, huh? But they're here to save lives. And you were inches from losing yours. I'm grateful. Thank you, ma'am. Speaking of which, now you're awake. You might feel extremely dizzy for a minute. I just need to measure your blood pressure. Then I'm gonna get you your breakfast. Oh my god, you're a saint. Haha, oh stop. So I was told by my guardian that Yuri's blood labs are still pending. Do you have any guess as to what she had? None. It's just something you learn as a nurse after a while. And even if I did know, I can't really tell you. Information regarding her care is proprietary and confidential. I understand completely. So we might never know, right? If you're dizzy, just lean back against the bed until it's over. When she's done, the cuff eases the pressure on my arm and I can almost literally feel the blood rush back through. Oh, that was a lot more unpleasant than I would have liked. Sorry about that. It's fine. Let me go get your breakfast now. Just the mere mention of food makes my stomach grumble violently. I assume that I can eat solids and all, right? Yeah, your stomach wasn't pierced, thank God. You would not have survived if it was. The gastric juices and hydrochloric acid would have leaked over your organs, and I don't think I would need to finish out the rest of that description. Spare me, I don't think my stomach is strong enough to handle that. We both chuckle. I'll be right back. She promptly leaves the room. As she exits, Julia enters. Flirting with the medical staff, I see. Hey, you do what you must do to get information. Sure. She walks over, my arms crossed and wearing a smug face, and sits down. What's with the face? Guess what I got? New brand of perfume you plan to asphyxiate with me with? What? No. For real though. Shut up. You play around like the worst times. Give me a break, I'm like a quarter dead. Julia, you never break me. Maybe for your younger. Oh my god! No! Julia's face flushes red as she looks away. I have your girlfriend's blood lab results. Anything interesting? Actually, yes. Julia pulls a small envelope out of a shirt pocket in her suit and places it on the bed. I promptly grab it and open it. What she tested positive for seems to be an altered form of ketamine. Isn't that meant to be an anesthetic? Traditionally, it's administered as one, but the traces the blood lab found didn't match the common variants of ketamine. You did say she was having severe hallucinations and she couldn't really recall much of those hallucinations to explain, so I think it was altered with a hallucinogen. Which, if so, kind of makes sense to why your captors gave it to her in the first place. What do you mean? Think about it, Level Engine. To either force her to tell them information or to incapacitate her. Maybe both. You're on the right track. She also did end up getting aggressive and attacking things around her. Maybe it was foreseen they wanted her to attack you, making your escape more difficult? That would mean they need to rely on Yuri's emotional problems. I don't think that is something to just know about. Did she keep that stuff hidden? Like you have no idea. I guess the only noticeable part of that is she cuts her wrists. But she told me she was going to stop doing that. What the hell are you hiding from me? Julia lowers her voice. When Yuri was checked in, she had several wounds on her wrists that were badly infected. Son of a bitch. Those kinds of infections aren't ever good. Is she okay? She'll be fine, but she told me not to tell you right away. Why the hell not? Again, think about it. She feels like she completely betrayed you. She explained to me how much trust you put in her, and she was proud of herself for being strong enough to resist those urges. She even mentioned your little idea about drawing or writing on her wrist instead of cutting. Which, by the way, very good idea. But to a girl like her, trust meant everything. Her doing what she did made her feel like she wasted your confidence in her and that you'll just drop her. I see. Do you understand a little better now? Completely. Julia's little lecture right there hit deep and hard. It only makes me want to see Yuri more. I want to tell her it's okay. I want to tell her she impressed me and made me trust her more than ever have. I want to tell her that she was stronger than I was last night, because she was. She was drugged, hurt, stressed, guilt-ridden, and fearing for her life constantly for days. And even after majorly wounding me, she still tried her best for me. She held up through everything, and I didn't. I'll be damned if she thinks she betrayed me. Realizing I spaced out pretty hard, I focused back on Julia. Thinking pretty hard there. Just reflecting, that's all. What are the doctors going to do about the drug? Well, she was administered a very large and dangerous dose. She reacted pretty badly to it as well. But the staff has made her comfortable, and they've already given her countermeasures for it. She's going to be okay. Good. I lean back onto the bed again and heave a sigh. Good. You certainly do care a lot for her, don't you? Yeah, more than I expected I would. I'm actually just surprised that, like, both MC and Yuri got to the hospital and they're still alive. I thought, like, MC was gonna die, like, before even getting to the hospital at this rate. Mind your own business. That's so cute. You have your laugh. When can I see her? I'm not sure. Why don't you flirt with the nurse? Don't hate me for knowing you like a book. Keep your ages hidden, miss. Oh, I taught you well. Very. After a few more minutes of my self-reflection, the nurse walks in holding a plastic tray. Sorry to keep you waiting, but I got your food fresh. Thank you. When can I see Yuri? In just a little bit. She's being discharged right now. Hearing those words lift my spirit up a little, so I silently eat my breakfast and wait. After eating my breakfast, the nurse takes my tray before performing some more checkups, another blood pressure test, and an EKG test to make sure my heart's still performing correctly. Julia gets up and leaves the room without saying anything. She returns a few minutes later with a purple-haired sight I've longed to see ever since I collapsed. Yuri! Level Engine! I'm so glad you're okay. She rushes over to my bedside. Ditto, how are you feeling? Definitely a lot better than I was last night. That's for sure. How's your stomach? It's been better. But what matters is that I'm alive, and those bastards didn't take us down. Right. I look over to Julia and nod to the side, gesturing her to leave. She acknowledges it and walks out of the room. Yuri, I'm sorry for all of that. You of all people didn't deserve to get mixed up in that, and you could have died because of me. That's a burden I'm going to carry for the rest of my life. Level Engine. Even if I wasn't in the situation I was in, I still would have helped you. Huh? You mean a lot to me. And I think we have a lot more in common than we see. I know I'm weak and timid, but I would still try my best for you. Yuri, you're not weak and timid. Did you see how much ass you kicked out there? You held your own for consecutive days, and we still managed to get out because of that. Hell, you almost took me down. Very few people can actually say that. Yuri stays silent, her face flushing while trying to look away. But I hurt you. How can you still stand to be near me? Because I care about you. Yuri, I like you. Yuri practically freezes in place. You shouldn't. Why do you say that? Because Yuri slowly rolls up her sleeves and shows me her wrists. Bandage wrap covers them from the wrist up to the elbow. Although I knew about them prior, the mere sight of how severe it is still shocks me. She must have cut really deep and had nothing to clean with. Yuri, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Yuri starts to cry, still trying to avoid eye contact with me. Out of instinct, I scoot to the edge of the bedroom and wrap my arms around her. You don't need to apologize. Yes, I do. You trusted that I wouldn't do it again. And I promised you. I broke that, and I feel awful. The circumstances justify it. And guarantee that if what happened this last week hadn't occurred, you wouldn't have done this. Am I wrong? No. No, I'm not. You're a strong girl and you proved it all. Don't think I stopped trusting you. If anything, I trust you even more now than I did back then. I can feel her sniffling as she cries. This girl. I never thought I would ever find someone like her. She and I may have gone down different roads, but we've hit the same potholes. And because of that, we have come to relate to each other in ways I don't think anyone else is able to understand. And all I want is to protect this girl from any further harm. I want to be with this girl. We both release each other and I look up into her eyes. Yuri, I will protect you. I will do whatever it takes to help you through your obstacles. Why would you do something like that? For someone like me? Because... Thank God Julia isn't in here to see and hear this. Because I want to be by your side through all of it. I have feelings for you, Yuri. Huh? You don't really mean that. Do you? I know we've talked about this once before, but now I guess I am ready. Yes, I really mean it. I close my eyes and hug her back. I actually did it. Never once did I think I could confess my feelings for Yuri. I've always been taught to suppress those feelings. But after all we've been through together, I can't ignore them anymore. Like, is this really what you gotta go through to get a girlfriend when you're this guy? We both release each other and lean back on the bed. So yeah, I'm really hoping this relationship just works out after everything they've been through. Once I get back to school, everything can go back to normal. Literature club, everyone happy and peaceful, something I've been needed for a long time. Yes, I look forward to that. Actually, Level Engine, you won't be returning to school. What? Why not? Admin has decided that since you were targeted for information, you should be relocated. No. Julia, don't do this to me again. I'm sorry, Level Engine. It wasn't my choice. The pain in my heart hurts more than the pain in my stomach. Why? Why after all this? Yuri struggles to hold back tears and looks away. Julia continues to avoid eye contact. I'm truly sorry, Level Engine. I was just notified of this. I assume I have no choice then? Absolutely none. I figured. You're wrong. Huh? I do have a choice. Level Engine, you understand what will happen if you don't comply, right? I will be taken into custody for insubordination. Correct, I don't want that. And I don't want to leave. You're really going to do this, aren't you? Yuri buries her face into her hands and silently cries. Oh, I finally get to make a choice. Why can't I save my game, though? Okay. I want to actually make both choices. Disobey orders and stay with Yuri. I understand the consequences of my decision. But I don't want to leave I do not wish to leave Yuri and the Literature Club behind. Julia, I'm staying. God damn it, Level Engine. You said you would help me with my desire to live a normal life. By doing this, you're taking that one chance I have away. It won't be your only chance. Bullshit. Stop feeding me lies like I'm a child. I'm not a child anymore, Julia. All I want is to stay here with Yuri in the Literature Club. I'm sorry, Level Engine. Are you really? Because if you were, you would be on the phone getting me out of this decision. I can't. Don't you understand that? Don't do this to me. Then what do you expect me to do, huh? Because what you're telling me is going to force me to take you into custody. I can't do that to you, Level Engine. Either get me out of this, or you might as well arrest me now. I know deep down inside she can't bring herself to ruin my life. The life that she and Ashley made possible for me. She understands where I'm coming from and how I feel. And granted, I understand her point of view and how she feels too. But I will not be made a fool and forced away from those I care about. I'm being hard on her, but I have no other choice. You're making this much harder for me than I can really handle. Then please, get me out of this. I know you can, Jules. You're almost as good of a smooth talker as I am. Do you know how many times I've talked you into doing something you didn't want to? Damn it. I know you can help me, Julia. I trust you. Do you really? Because I don't know how to repay your trust. Julia herself starts crying. This isn't something I can just tell them no, sorry. Let's think about this. Admin said it was because it was an information target, right? Correct. And you're an asset too valuable to be corrupted. I'm not going to be corrupted. You know me very well and I would never do that. But Admin doesn't think so. Then tell them it wasn't an attempt to extort information out of me. Tell them it was a personal attack on both Yuri and me. An attempt of trafficking, ransom, something like that. You might be onto something there. But a report was already written up and I put my hand up to stop her. I know you haven't submitted that report. The order to relocate me was the preliminary to the actual report, right? Correct. But even if I do change it, they're most likely still going to go through with the order. You can at least try. Please, Julia, that's all I'm asking. Level Engine. You're only going to make this worse for yourself in the long run. I'll accept what happens to me. She looks as distraught as I am. After breathing a heavy sigh, she stands up and walks over to me. Hi, you're going to get arrested if you don't go? Something along those lines, yeah. Then maybe you should go. I always make things worse for people. And now I face bringing you that burden again. Yuri's eyes are red, and I can tell she is trying very hard to hold back tears. Yuri, leaving you would do me more damage than staying. But I can't let you throw everything away from me. Level Engine, I care about you too much to let that happen. Yuri, in life you have to make sacrifices. And they're never easy decisions to make, but I made mine. Are you sure this is the smart decision, though? It definitely was not. But I came here so I can live a normal life, to finally relax and learn to develop myself as something other than a tool for others to use. Now that I'm finally attaining that, people wish to rip it from me. I will not let that happen. But it sounds like it was for your safety. It looks that way on paper. They're only worried about the potential of leaked information. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. I take her hand to mine and look into her amethyst eyes. I trust you. You're discharged from the hospital, right? Yeah. You should get home and get some rest. Will you be okay here alone? Yeah, I promise. So, like, does he actually get forcibly dragged away or not? I feel my shoulder gently being shaken. When I open my eyes, I see Julia standing over me. Jesus Christ, woman. Don't just stand over someone like that. You're gonna give him a heart attack. Sorry. Are you absolutely sure you want to go through with this? My answer has not changed. You're endangering your future and possibly hers by doing this. You're giving her hope that you can stay here and be with her, and if you're ripped away from her, then you're just going to put her through more distress than she's feeling now. I know, girls. And I know this will hurt her more than it'll hurt you. Are you here to take me into custody? No. I finished the report, but again, I'm not really sure it's going to change anything. I appreciate you doing that, but I need you to have my back. And right now, I know you don't. How can you say something like that? Because I know you're hesitating quite a lot here. You have clearance for a lot of things and you have a lot of permissions. I do, but that doesn't mean I can just overturn direct orders from above. If they see we're targeted solely for information, they are going to take measures to restrict that from happening again. Julia, what happened was not an internal matter. It was domestic. Yuri and I went to the police after escaping. As far as they were concerned, it was a kidnapping that we got away from. We never told the police it was an attack solely on me for information about an organization we can't say anything about. The only people who know about that are Yuri, you, and I. I've already told Adam what you told me. You told Adam what an incapacitated, loopy teenager really high painkillers told you. What merit would that truly have? Coming from you quite a lot. Adam doesn't know that. Julia, it's simple if you go by this approach. After further review, it is deemed that 4219's initial statement cannot be admissible due to the state he was in, as well as the influence he was under by medical staff to administer narcotics. Reviewing the domestic police's department report, I can conclude this was a singular event with no possible chance of a trend. What about the individuals arrested by officers? I personally executed the man in charge. The rest I assume were only there on a payroll. The reason for capturing me probably wasn't their concern. Probably? Assume? I need more than guesses, Level Engine. Do you remember what Ashley said? Instinct trumps intuition. I took down many of those bastards, conversed with them as well. With the added threat of the police breathing down their necks, they aren't going to do anything further. That makes sense, I guess. I reviewed the police report and several arrests were made. Yuri was able to explain where you guys were kept, as well as 911 calls from the people themselves calling for an ambulance. I don't know what you did, but it worked. As it always does. I work off of the training you and Ashley gave to me. And even if I can't fully trust the decisions I make, like the one I made earlier today, I still go with it. It was because of you and her that I'm able to make these decisions. Look, I'll see what I can do. Thank you, Julia. Don't get your hopes up. Contrary to your belief, I'm still extremely worried about you and your injuries. So you can stop me from running? No, I would know you wouldn't run away. What's the matter? Do you have a problem with a pretty woman spending the night with you? You're not in bed with me, so that doesn't count. What makes you think that won't change? Fair point. It is you we're talking about. Hey, what does that mean? You know what I mean. I chuckled to myself. It does feel comfortable to make me able to joke around with Julia. In fact, it was something I really need after all this. I know that this is just as hard on her as it is on me. She isn't willingly asking me to leave this life that I found for myself. She's being forced to. After all, orders are orders. My thoughts are interrupted by Julia kicking her feet back up onto the bed. Excuse me, do you mind? Yes, I do. I want to get comfortable too. I'm not sure how you expect to sit in that position all night. It's actually pretty nice, if you say so. We both go to sleep. So, how does this end? So, we're still in the hospital. Room 105. So it's like middle of the day, pretty much. Hospital food is something you don't expect to be good. But to be fair, I don't particularly have a preferred taste palette. However, the food over the course of this past week hasn't been bad. I kinda like it. The only downside is it reminds me of the food I had back in my old school. The tray and everything else, too. But I continue eating as Yuri, Sayori, Monika, and Natsuki walk into the room. It's been almost a week since I was admitted into the hospital, and this is the first time I'm seeing the other girl since the incident. Level Engine! Sayori yelps and stops in her place, almost as if she doesn't know what to do. Natsuki is completely silent. Oh my. Level Engine, are you okay? I feel fine. I certainly hope you've been resting. As much as I physically can. I'm really glad you're okay. Yuri did say you were hurt and needed time to recover in the hospital. How badly were you hurt? Pretty badly. Yuri looks away, making it painfully obvious that she's too scared to say anything. The guilt she feels about stabbing me really eats at her. She and I had a conversation about it a few days ago. Nothing really much to explain, I was just hurt. I'll be fine, it'll just take me a bit to recover. Almost as if I saved her from explaining something very emotionally difficult to her friends. I gave her "you don't need to worry" glance, and she evidently calms down. Well, no matter what, we were worried about you, and we're super glad you're okay. The club has been a little quiet since our two most renowned readers were absent. We had to resort to Sayori reading a book out loud. Hee. That sounds troublesome. Hey! What, you like to read really cheesy stuff? Just because I've read Milo and Otis 7 times doesn't mean it's all I read. We all chuckle. So when can we expect you back? Both Sayori and Natsuki look at me for an answer. This is going to be hard to explain. There's a chance I won't be coming back. Huh? Why not? What? I think we need a little more explanation on that. All the girls stare back at me, their eyes begging for this to be some kind of joke. I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize, it makes a lot of sense. Monica acts as if she planned to say something else but stops herself. Sayori doesn't look like she can bear to speak. Only tears form in her eyes. You have no choice? No. Natsuki, I can tell, is much better at hiding her feelings about this than the other girls. But I can still see in her eyes that she's completely crushed. As it stands right now, I'm waiting on Julia to talk to them. What's going to come of it, I still don't know. What I told the girls was a slightly altered version of what Yuri overheard. I left out key terms and points that my job uses, but kept the overall point the same. The last thing I want is to expose them to something that'll only make things harder for them. Sayori, not saying a single word, walks over to me and wraps her arms around me. Normally I would chastise her and pull her off me for not giving a warning, but for obvious reasons I don't. Sayori buries her head into my shoulder and I can feel her sniffle. I wrap my left arm around her. Yuri walks over and hugs me from the right. I follow by wrapping my right arm around her. Natsuki and Monica look at each other before joining the hug. The hug from all 4 girls makes it extremely difficult to keep my composure. If what Julia said to me was true, that all the effort we're trying to put in to get me out of these orders won't work, then I was going to crush each of these girls, and they don't deserve that. Monica, I guess I was right when I said I can't promise I'll come back to the club. But you're strong, girl. I know you'll be able to watch over Yuri and the others when I'm gone. I keep those words in my mind as a way of calming myself down. Never thought I'd say I'm attached to them, but all I can do is wait. They also explained they want to come here directly after school so they could have the opportunity of reunifying the club. But I can't enjoy the time I spend with them as the lingering uneasiness constantly taints my experience. Eventually, we finish up our time with the literature club, and the girls begin to leave hesitantly. Yuri stays behind and sits down next to me. She and I talk for a while, and I continually try to reassure her that everything will be fine. But she isn't dumb. She sees right through my lies. Out of nowhere, Yuri says something that stops me in my tracks. You know, Level Engine, the sacrifices you're making just to stay here with us, with me, I really just want to thank you for them. You've taught me a lot about myself, and you've helped me in more ways than I can imagine. I understand there's a chance you can get in a lot of trouble for staying. I really appreciate it. And if you ever do need to leave, she accentuates leave, I will be more than willing to follow. I see. You understand if I go on the run, it could endanger you too, right? Yes. I've thought a lot the last week. We'll see what happens, but if it comes down to it, I will not put you through unnecessary danger or stress. Yuri, can I speak to Level Engine alone for a few minutes? Let me guess. Bad news. I mentally prepare myself for the worst while hoping for the best. Alright, so... Admin wants to speak to you directly. Wait, what? You heard me. Admin wants to speak to you directly about this. This time it's truly out of my hands and is now in yours. I've done all I can. I appreciate it, Julia. When do we go? Tomorrow morning, immediately following your discharge. I'll pick you up and we'll go together. The way you word that almost seems like I'm preemptively being punished. You aren't. If anything, you can trust me on that. Do you know what you're going to tell them? I pretty much have a general basis in mind. Good, I'm going to be heading out now. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, I just want to see how this ends. Like, does my guy get to stay in the new town he settled or not? Like, is he going to get to keep the literature club or he's going to have to leave it? I've been discharged from the hospital. Everything still burns and aches. So just get to the punch. It's late. Shall we go? Yes, please. Get to the punch already. We go to an upper level floor. It's not long before I'm called. Following a rather cute intern, I'm led to an office that's very similar to Julia's. Julia sits down on one of the two couches placed in the middle of the office. I stand at the door and bring my attention to a figure sitting at the desk at the end of the room. 4219, reporting as ordered, ma'am. Sit down. Yes, ma'am. I quickly walk over to the chair on the opposite side of her desk and sit down at it, keeping my eyes on her for the entirety of my movement. The woman before me is someone I've seen only a few times around here. I've heard from other co-workers that she is a stone-cold bitch, while others say she is a warm-hearted angel. Better to have her than the others I could be speaking to, I guess. So let's see here. She flips through several papers that are neatly placed onto her desk. 4219, you were injured during an altercation on the 9th? Correct, ma'am. And the reason for your injury was? The reason for my injury was due to an attempt to escape a hostile situation I found myself in. Hostile situation, elaborate. Petty criminals abducted both myself and a classmate I was with at the time. Petty criminals abducted you. Correct, ma'am. Before we continue, I believe I need an explanation for that. Certainly. During the incident, I assessed the threat and I found it better to approach to get kidnapped so I can infiltrate. Once I was inside of the building and my classmate and I were in, I found it easier to escape the situation. So you're telling me that you let yourself get kidnapped so you could sabotage the group of petty criminals internally? I couldn't have said it better myself, ma'am. I see. Why did you feel this was the best approach? At the time, I was outnumbered with several armed aggressors surrounding me. If I fought back, I would have surely died. Interesting for someone with your ranking to say that. Was you able to take the route I did? Well, I guess you did something right, because the police ended up handling the situation following your escape. What exactly was the motivation of these petty criminals? Money, ma'am. They were intending on extorting us for ransom. I know for a fact she's going to use the word extort very soon. Extorting you for money, huh? Well, it seems here that you provided your division chief a statement that is different. I was asked about my personal affiliations and my employer. This doesn't look like it's for money, Level Engine. Man, with all due respect, I believe you should understand the context of the situation better. Excuse me? Level Engine! I mean that in no respect. That's why I use with all due respect. Please, may I continue with what I was saying? Make it good. It's not uncommon for victims in a kidnapping to be asked about employment or family affiliations. Especially if it's going to be based around ransom. If you kidnap someone, you want to be extorting the money out of the right people. If it turns out that the person you kidnap works for a very wealthy company, you use that. So what, did you just tell them who we were? Negative. In fact, I told them my employment was with a janitorial firm part-time. That is what I meant by personal affiliations and employer. It still doesn't sound like that. Again, ma'am, I was also extremely unstable at the time of that statement. I was under the influence of extreme narcotic painkillers in the hospital. I had just exited hypovolemic shock, and I was still dizzy and not at all there. My word usage could have been a little bit better, I agree, but not scrutinized deeply. Makes sense. Thank you for explaining that. You understand what I have to do if this was an attack on the agency, right? Mandatory relocation. Sounds like you would be opposed to that. Very much so. Explain. Ma'am, I want to sort of create a stable environment for myself. One where I can attend a local school and broaden my own horizons while also performing my duties as a reserve. And since arriving where I am now, I've done just that. I'm attending high school. I'm a member of an academic activity after school, and I'm providing myself a stable living environment that I've wanted since I was a child. All the while, I'm still maintaining and even exceeding the standards the staff here have laid out for me. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I guess you were correct about that. Your scores from the simulated training exercises, and even from your quarterly reviews, are still extremely high. Correct, ma'am. Now that I have a stable environment for myself, I believe it has given me great benefit. I'm able to not only grow my education and dive into extracurricular activities and experience, I'm also training just as much as I did before. Interesting. What about your injuries? Correct. That's a big disappointment. I stay silent and wait for her to continue writing in her notebook. Alright, thank you for this. I believe it has helped me come to an informed and objective decision. You are granted medical leave for 7 days. Immediately following your leave, you're going to be given an assignment and relocated elsewhere for the duration of that assignment. I don't respond and just tilt my head, looking at the floor in defeat. This is a temporary assignment and will last for 6 months. And since your performance has, if anything, increased since you lived here, you will be permitted to return following this assignment. I know you don't wish to leave Level Engine, but for the safety and security of the intelligence you possess, we are going to be ensuring measures on our end. Do you understand me? Yes, ma'am, I do. Good, and since you have operational housing here, I'll put a hold on that, so when you return, it's still available to you. I appreciate that. Julia, do me a favor, keep an eye on him. Of course, ma'am. Is there anything else you request from us? No, you both are dismissed. Okay, so it's not forever he has to be relocated. It'll be okay, I promise. I don't speak. Silence is the only thing I can really give her right now. It may be only a temporary assignment, but I already know how hard this is going to be for the girls and for myself. They promise me it's temporary until I get the papers that say it's now permanent, but it's probably for the best. 7 days later, club room. I walk into the club room and look in the direction of the other girls. They are all sat around a small group of desks in the center of the room. Sayori looks at me with heartbroken tears falling down her cheeks. Does she already more or less know what's going to happen, Sayori? Sorry I'm leaving you guys so suddenly. Take care. Sorry, Yuri. I know we just started dating, but gotta run. No matter what I say, nothing is going to mend these girls' broken hearts. Especially Yuri's. The only real thing I can do is... I open my arms and Yuri immediately runs into me and hugs me. Her arms wrap around my sides and her face buries into my shoulder. I wrap mine around her and hold her tightly. Yuri weeps into my shoulder and clings onto me for dear life. I don't want to do this to her, but I don't have a choice. The other girls look at us and try and hold back their tears too. I turn my head slightly and whisper into Yuri's ear. I'm so sorry for this. You didn't have a choice. I don't blame you for this. Nor will I ever. She shouts and starts crying more intensely into my shoulder. Seeing this burst of emotion from Yuri is a very rare sight, which makes it all more impacting. I'm not going to ask you and the girls to wait. I only ask you to take care of yourself, okay? I promise. Yuri moves her hands to the front of my white dress shirt. She gently places her hands against it and rests her head on my shoulder again. I gently stroke the back of her head and look at the other girls. Monica nods to me to affirm something I made her promise to me. Monica and I discussed Yuri and her cutting and decided it was best that since I wouldn't be around anymore, that she would help Yuri as much as she could. She needs her friends more than ever, and it pains me that I can't be there for her. I caused all of this and now I have to walk away as it falls apart. I'm more pathetic than I thought I ever was. Maybe my old bastard of a father was right. I shake my head to break myself out of these thoughts and return my attention to the girls. Looking into each of their eyes, the urge to stay grows exponentially. I want more than anything to be able to stay here with the girls, but I would only make things worse if I stayed. As much as it pains me to do this, I can't stay here with them forever. I have to be going now. I just wanted to let you all know that. I've really enjoyed my time here with you. You girls have helped me more than I could have ever imagined or asked, and I'm not sure how I can repay any of you. You don't need to repay us, silly. You are an influence on us all, and I think you've done more for us than anyone else has, or will. And for that, I'm sure we're all very grateful for you. Yuri and I let go of each other. She looks into my eyes before turning around and walking back to her desk. I have to be going now. Goodbye, girls. Wait! Thank you for being part of the literature club. You don't need to thank me for that. I enjoyed every minute of it. Without saying another word, I painfully depart. So, does he actually come back in 6 months, or does he actually get reassigned to a new place permanently? More importantly, I'll never forget them. Ready to go? As ready as I can be. Afterwards, she looks at me, aware of how emotionally torn I am inside, but still keeps her cheery tone audible. You doing alright? I'll be fine, Julia. I know you will. She pats my shoulder and starts to focus on her phone while I take one last look at the school I've grown fond of and the people inside of it. And so, once I was on the flight out of the city, I tried to look past everything I was leaving behind. Whether or not I would return is a pipe dream that I don't really wish to hold on to. I will take on my next assignment with the image of Yuri in my head. So whether or not he comes back is pretty much unknown. 6 months later. Oh, so he might actually have made it back. Yuri and the other girls walk into the crowd of students that have gathered at the end of year assembly. A ceremony that congratulates the students for completing a year of academics and excellence. So what? He actually does get to come back with the literature club? Whew, I'm relieved. I thought this was just gonna be another. I thought this was just gonna be another downer ending. The excitement of the air is electric, and everyone is glad to have the stress and menial patterns of the school year over, especially the literature club. The girls stop in the center of the large crowd, all of them happily talking under the summer sun. Yay, the year is done! You can say that again. God, what a year. We sure did learn a lot and experience a lot. It was fun. I agree, Monica. I'm gonna perfect my baking. Oh, what? It's already perfect. Maybe spend some time at the beach. New collection of book series. I got a summer job at the animal shelter. Really? That actually sounds perfect for you. Hee. Yuri looks over for some students in the crowd towards a portable stage where several educators stand. The girls reach over to tap Yuri on the shoulder and point behind her. Huh? Long time no see, Yuri. Level engine! Yuri jumps in surprised joy and runs to hug me. What makes us a good soldier? His brain or his heart? Okay, so looks like we're done. But I'm gonna probably play down some of the other routes. Wondering if, like, all the other girls are gonna get kidnapped the same way Yuri did. Wonder if it's gonna be like that observer from Doki Doki Time to Be an Epic Hero, where it was literally just like the same plot for 3 of the 4 main characters you could just pick a route for. Oh, so Leo DiCaprio is still working on assets for DDLC mods. I mean, do you think I'd ever forget that Siori Date mod? I think I'll just let the rest of the credits play and then I'm out of here. I definitely can't stay any longer, it's getting way too late. I mean, the only reason I'm still up is because it was just so worth it to see how this ended. Special thanks, Just Monica, Princess Natsuki. Oh, Spaghetto, I recognize that name down there. He also plays through a lot of DDLC mods, probably interacts with the community way more than I do. Is also probably a lot more active with these as well. Inspired by the fruit of Grisaya. Yeah, I actually forgot to mention that earlier, that this guy was inspired by another visual novel, Fruits of Grisaya, hence the vastly similar name. In fact, like the logo of Fruits of the Literature Club, like this logo and the logo of Fruits of Grisaya just looks so similar anyways. So yeah, I'm gonna have to see how that other choice ends, regardless. I'm gonna have to see how this choice ends. But I'm probably gonna save it for another time. I really do want to see the other option. It's probably gonna be emotionally straining to see the option, but yeah, we're gonna do it. But not now, it's way too late. I probably should have been sleeping about like 30, like maybe even 40 minutes ago.